Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's regular meeting of the Rancho Cordova City Council. We have been in closed session, and we're going to ask our city attorney for a report back.
Thank you, Mayor, Council, members of the community and staff. This evening at 4 o'clock, the City Council met in closed session and took up two items. One of existing litigation, Stone Creek Residents for Smart Growth, an unincorporated association versus City of Rancho Cordova, and a second anticipated and threatened litigation detailed on the agenda report. In both cases, the City Council received updates from and provided direction to litigation counsel.
Thank you, Adam. Then we'll ask the city clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Terry?
Here.
Councilmember Gatewood?
Here.
Councilmember Pulapati?
Here.
Vice Mayor Sander?
Here.
Mayor Budge?
Here, thank you. Stacy, will you read all the legal language?
Yes. The meeting of the Rancho Cordova City Council will be cablecast on Metro Cable 14, the local government affairs channel on the Comcast Consolidated Communications and AT&T Uverse cable systems. The meeting is closed captioned and webcast at metro14live.saccounty.gov. Today's meeting will replay on Thursday, November 9th at 9 a.m. and Saturday, November 11th at 7 p.m. The meeting can also be viewed from youtube.com/Metro Cable 14. A DVD copy can also be ordered from the City Clerk's Department, and a webcast of this meeting will also be available within 48 hours of adjournment of this meeting on the city's website.
Recording stopped.
Well, let's begin again.
We're good.
Okay. Thank you, Stacy. As we always do, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. We have asked Cheryl Longsworth with the Seroptimus organization to lead our pledge. And then if you'll remain standing, Dr. Dan DeShawn with the River City Christian will give us an invocation. Cheryl, welcome.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Cheryl. Dr. Dan.
Please pray with me. Lord, you tell us in Proverbs that you are far from the wicked, but you hear the prayers of the righteous. We ask you this evening to have blessings on this meeting. We are so grateful for the leadership of our city, their transparency, accountability during adversity and prosperity. Thank you for calling this council into public service and the sincere balance they exhibit between government intervention and personal freedom. Hebrews 4:16 said, "Let us approach God in his grace with confidence so that we may receive mercy and find the grace to help us in our time of need." We ask this in Christ's name. Amen.
Thank you. Please be seated. We have some really nice presentations. I mean, we always have nice presentations, but tonight's especially nice. So I'm going to call on Randy K. Stevens to present I think, first ever.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor Budge and members of the City Council. My name is Randy K. Stevens, and I am your analyst with the Community Enhancement and Investment Fund. And tonight, I have the honor of introducing the City of Rancho Cordova's inaugural Youth Poet Laureate, Paolo Marie Yuli. Before I invite Ms. Yuli to share her talents with you, I'd like to thank the Council for its support of the Youth Poet Laureate program.
Thank you, Randy K. Welcome.
Thank you. I just have a few more words. The team at the Cordova Community Council Foundation and the Mill Station Arts Culture Center were critical in the success of developing this new program during COVID. As the program continues to grow, 916 Inc. has taken the baton to lead the initiative. I'd like to thank Shirley Blanchard and Cheryl Gleason, and of course Ian Hadley and Paulette Greenhouse of 916 Inc. for their leadership and support of young artists and poets. In April of this year, Paolo Marie was crowned our inaugural Youth Poet Laureate. In what can only be described as the friendliest and most supportive competition ever to take place, Miss Yulia emerged as our Poet Laureate after a year-long program where participants engaged in writing exercises, learned craft of spoken word, received training from local and national poets. As part of her term, Miss Yulia will be working with 916 Inc. to engage more young people in the program. She, in fact, also wants to do a poem at the Sacramento Children's Museum. Paolo Marie will also be able to participate in programs regionally, statewide, and nationally through our membership in Urban Word. I now invite Miss Yuli, a proud Rancho Cordova artist, junior at Christian Brothers, and alumni of St. John Vianney, to share her craft with you.
Well, welcome.
Thank you for having me. Good evening, Honorable Mayor Budge and council members. Vice Mayor Sanders, we meet again. I thank you.
In full disclosure, I was her academic coach at St. John Vianney, and my son and the Yulee family spent a lot of time together doing things like Taekwondo.
And I sincerely apologize for all I put you through during that time.
We can talk about that later.
All right. I didn't expect it to be accosted here, but all right, let's do this. Well, you know, I was going to continue with, I thank you for allowing me to be here, and I'm very proud to be the first Youth Poet Laureate. I would like to thank my parents for all their support and my uncle for driving me. I'd like to thank my sister for enhancing my creativity by being a source of challenge. And she's the reason I look so fabulous tonight, so we can all thank her. I'd like to thank Miss Gleason and all those who helped with this program, especially Miss Gleason's wife for supplying all the great snacks. I started writing at 8 years old, thanks to my third grade teacher, Miss Balantak, who had us start writing poems with the starter, "Every day when I go out, I stuff my shoes with sauerkraut."
Oh, my word.
My poem was nothing like everyone else's, and I thought I failed the assignment. Well, if that's true, I failed successfully, didn't I?
Yes.
Now that's the perfect segue, well, it is a segue, I don't know if it's perfect, into what I would like to accomplish with the role. English class is filled with kids having to write essays on boring topics that they couldn't care less about in a specific font with specific margins, only to have it marked up and read by a teacher and handed back to them. If that's what English class is, no wonder many kids hate writing. Essays are important, and I understand that we need to learn that. But that's only one side of writing. And because of that, kids don't get to know how fun writing can be. So with the title, I hope to teach kids how fun writing can be, and maybe then we can find me a worthy successor. Yeah, anyway, so let's move on to the best poem you've ever heard. That's not true. All right, let's do this. Little Star of the Sea by yours truly. The little star of the sea shines for no one. Cold, icy waters stretching vacant for miles. The little star of the sea shines for the occasional visitors, hoping they'd brighten the star's lonely ocean. The little star of the sea shines for kings and queens, illuminating her ocean and revealing its majesty. The little star of the sea shines for herself. The poet, the poser, her destiny is her own. Paula Little, Marie, Star of the Sea, Yulee. Okay.
Lovely. Thank you.
Thank you, Paula Marie. What a wonderful artist we are fortunate to have representing Rancho Cordova. We will continue to work with 916 Inc. and our Youth Poet Laureate to bring more of poetry and arts to our young people here in Rancho Cordova. In fact, this Saturday, November 11th, 916 Inc. is hosting a hip-hop poetry workshop at CalCap Black Box Theater from 10 to 1, and youth are invited to attend. Thank you so much, and congratulations.
Wonderful. Congratulations. Congratulations to your family and to your sister who dressed you. Thank you all for coming tonight.
I'll just add, that was a
Please.
Measure H funded project from the dais with no written proposal because of emails from the community suggesting it. So we can pat ourselves on the back a little bit for that having had happen, but in particular for staff and for the community for funding it and making it happen. So it's really exciting to see that work out.
Absolutely.
So congratulations. Well deserved.
Okay, staying in the skies, we're going to call on Darcy Brewer for a presentation about our recently wonderfully completed the California Capitol Air Show. Darcy.
I said no peeking earlier, but now you can peek.
Okay, we're peeking.
Thank you so much for having us back again this year. I wanted to take a minute to introduce, which you already know, two of the executive committee members of our board of directors, Terrence McNamara, our board chair, and Michael Faust, our treasurer, just to give you a few little words about our year, and then I'll wrap up. Not like our last presenter, though. She's awesome.
I unfortunately dressed myself this morning, so I take all the credit for this.
It shows. We can tell.
It shows.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Really great to be here with all of you. A little recap of our prior year. We were back to full capacity for the first time since 2019, and we entertained and inspired 105,000 guests over the 2 days with a safe, successful, and thrilling show. The Thunderbirds really wanted to immerse themselves in the community, and so we kicked off the weekend with a free community event at Village Green Park. I remember seeing all of you there. There was some great music by Travis Air Force Base's Band of the Golden West. There were some food trucks. There were STEM activities, and it was really an awesome event. The public came out in force and appeared to really enjoy it. The performers especially loved it and commented that they hadn't really gotten to do anything exactly like that in their tour this year. So it was fantastic. So in addition to doubling the size of our premium venue options, we added a new experience, the Hangar, home of our mascot, Bomber the Bear. We created that in partnership with the Barrel District and Visit Rancho Cordova. It was a hip, spacious, family-friendly prime view chalet. It was a really, really big hit, not only with the public, but with the local Barrel District breweries. So that was a win for us. And finally, our Love of the Show volunteers back in full force this year. A lot of new and enthusiastic faces joined the ranks of those who've been doing it for years. We had about 30 different community organizations come out to support our parking and concessions operations. And those folks took home a whopping $80,000 for their charities based on what was raised. So all of these amazing, hardworking folks are an important part of the fabric of the mission of our organization. Michael.
Thank you. What a year. As you know, developing and delivering an exciting educational programs is really at the core of what we do with the California Capitol Air Show. It's what fuels us for a large part of what we do every single time we go out there and we have a show. This year we create a unique learning environment where we are sure to help launch the next generation. We hosted approximately 2,600 youths for our interactive STEM programs between May and September of this year. They got the opportunity to explore a lot of different careers, which we feel can help launch them on successful pathways in the future. Our scholarship program this year gave away $75,000 to local students who dreamed of changing the world and simply just needed a little extra bit of tuition help. At the center of our air show this year was what we called the Cold War Legacy. It was a pop-up museum which honored Mather Air Force Base's integral role in the Cold War. It also, we clearly showed how Mather played an important role in everything from the Korean War to the Cuban Missile Crisis, as well as the Vietnam War. Attendees took in the informal exhibits, as well as able to get up close and personal with Cold War era aircraft throughout the event. We're mostly honored to welcome more than we can possibly remember in past years of our veteran centurions. These are folks that are 100 years old and have served the United States in the military. Some of them for literally generations of their families have, and we are very pleased to have them this year. We also feel very honored that we have the opportunity to pay tribute to so many unsung heroes that would never get the opportunity to be recognized, such as the firefighters, the Cal Fire Team. In years past, they've been very busy dealing with the urgent demands of the day. And this year, we actually had the opportunity to show them the proper respect and proper thank you. Their show does a lot each and every year. We're truly privileged to have the opportunity to partner with the city of Rancho Cordova to make that happen. Darcy.
So as you know, this nonprofit event and our year-round educational programming wouldn't get off the ground without a long list of truly dedicated community partners and the generous support from the city of Rancho Cordova. On behalf of a 19-member, all-volunteer board of directors and a very small but mighty staff, we wanted to come here tonight to give you our heartfelt thank you and a couple of gifts. Board member Kim Duran, Cara Giorgio. So this one is very cool and very heavy. There's a little note on the back, and it's signed by not only all of the air show performers to thank you for hosting them this year, but also several of you met our 2 centenarians that played a role in everything with us for 3 days, Joe Peterbers and Pat. Oh my goodness, I forgot his last name. But anyway, they were big hits at the show this year, and they all wanted to sign this for you. So, and on behalf of the United States Air Force Thunderbirds, they thank you for having them at their town and having their favorite party of the year with the public at Village Green Park. So these are the gifts.
Wonderful. That's a totally new look for the Air Force, for the Thunderbirds.
It is a totally new look.
It's, my dad has several of the old look, and we have them upstairs also. So this is
And their
really
accessibility this year was just
Yes.
unbelievable. They made a commitment a year ago. The last thing that I wanted to say, I wanted to thank Kim. Normally, Shelley Blanchard with Cordova Community Council and Mark Sapoznik are nearby. I was going to exploit the 3 of them because they're 5 of my 19 bosses. But I also wanted to share with you that you should buckle up, because we're going to be doing something very different and incredibly special for 2024, and we plan to announce very soon. Thank you guys for letting us come back tonight.
Wonderful. So I'm instructed that we should all come down and have photos with you.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay, with your gifts, all right? Ladies
Yes.
and gentlemen. And I guess even Donald gets to participate.
Yes, you are. 3, 2, 1. Air show. Thunderbirds. All right, I got a few pictures. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We need a poet. Does anyone know a poet? Poets among us.
Come on, anyone that gives David a bad time on his birthday, you gotta get up here. That's exciting. You found the one person that give him stuff. Championship.
1, 2, 3.
Then one in the smiley.
Now, Paula Marie, be sure and tell your younger sister she has homework due at Academica tomorrow.
Oops.
You're working on it right there? All right, good.
Okay, so bringing our heads back down out of the clouds, literally to underground. Bad joke. We're going to turn this over to Adam Throop from Sci-Fi.
Hello, thank you for having us today. I'm here to give an update on the Rancho Cordova Fiber City build that we're in the middle of. We are about 25% complete with our project, if you don't mind. This next one. About 600,000 lineal feet of our 2.3 million foot build. We are performing at a rate of 75,000 lineal feet per month. We currently have 2 crews that are working every day to trench, and a couple other crews doing some other ancillary work. We are investing tens of millions of dollars in the Rancho Cordova community in materials and labor, equipment and parts and everything else to complete the build. We are employing over 100 people on our projects here in the market, and we do have a big milestone coming up here in the first quarter of next year. As far as our first customer, we plan to go live in Q1 of 2024.
In that photo, it's probably important to point out that that's not the pipe or the tube you're putting in the ground. That's just like a vacuum apparatus or something there, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that is what we call a trencher. So that's cutting, and on the next slide, I'll talk a little bit more about it. But the tubes are about 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch in the ground that will carry the fiber. But our construction technology is what we call a micro trench, which is about 2 inches wide that goes along the asphalt and the gutter line. Part of the technology, it's minimally invasive as far as cutting as small a trench as possible. It is very precise. It follows the asphalt and the concrete gutter. It's fast and efficient. We're doing about 5,000 or 6,000 feet a day. Most of it is pretty quiet, the actual cutting, which takes about a minute per home to pass. In terms of that, trencher is fairly noisy, but besides that, the rest of it is kind of hand tools, I guess I should say. Minimal dust in terms of the vacuum truck that does pull the material out of the trench directly into the truck, and minimal impact to the community in terms of just kind of one lane closed at a time. But we are working diligently on that. Safety is a big part of our whole program. On the left, you'll see a ground penetrating radar in terms of not interfering with the current utilities in the street. We have a strict personal protective gear requirement for all employees. And then also just a strict traffic control that keeps our workers safe and also the public able to complete their tasks for the day. As far as our residential experience, you'll see here on the left, we do door hangers to notify the community 2 to 3 weeks ahead of time that we are coming into market. And then on the right, you'll see no park signs, which get put out basically 3 days in advance, 3 to 5, that will notify them specifically when we're coming to their home. So we've got the longer term notification and then the shorter term of when we're moving throughout the community. And this is most of kind of what the residences will see. You'll see the crews moving through the market or through the street. That's another trencher and the vacuum truck that's working. And then there is some concrete restoration that happens. That's what we call a vault that's in the sidewalk.
So is that going to be the final product? Because I've seen that being used with an asphalt product. Is the asphalt going to be the permanent, or are you going to be doing concrete like this?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is the final stage. So everything does get replaced to original kind. So if it was concrete, it gets replaced to concrete. The asphalt is a temporary process. Sometimes there's certain parts of it that can't be all completed in one step. Also, it's somewhat of a two-step process in terms of we install the conduits and then we come back and we actually blow the fiber through all the lines. So by the time, once we blow, that's the fibers, that's when we really complete everything. So that's somewhat of a temporary restoration versus a permanent restoration process. But that is the permanent. So here on the left is what we call the lateral. So we have to take fiber to every home. And on the left is where we saw cut the joints to take the fiber optic to the home. And on the right is another picture of that permanent. But this is, you'll see one more in the next slide, but there is two ways that we do the lateral. It's that prior slide and this one. So that will be the permanent, one permanent option on the lateral. And then if you go to the next slide. So there are quite a few of temporary laterals that are currently being staged and worked on. So they will end up like the picture on the right, where they do get replaced with gray concrete. On the left is a temporary lateral. We are in the process of hiring a third-party vendor to be able to complete all the laterals that are still temporary.
Is that a penny in the photo on the right? What is that? What is that little marker there?
That's what we call a fiber marker.
Okay.
So that's a curb marker for kind of a locator, basically.
Like
for,
an ID number?
It's like a survey marker only for fiber.
yeah, so it's also for if there is like sidewalk restoration, they know there's a utility that they can work delicately around.
All right. So we've gotten calls about, finishes not being great, and in my experience, about 100% of them are the one on the left. And I think homeowners think, oh, you're done, and you left it looking like that.
Yes.
Right, but the right side is what you're leaving it
Correct.
looking like.
Correct.
The issue's really been the length of time. After a couple months, people figure you've forgotten them,
Yes. So.
or 3 or 4.
Yes. So we are, as the slide, we recognize there are outstanding laterals in the initial work zones, which are in the northern part of the town. And we are hiring a separate contractor to go after and get those taken care of. Part of it is we still don't have all the fiber, or we haven't started blowing fiber, so we need access or might need access. So rather than make it permanent and then have to come back and tear it up again to put in another one, some of that, that's really where that critical live customer comes into play, to be able to make permanent by us making customers live. We won't need access. We know we can get the fiber through the conduits.
You know, it would be really awesome if you could work with Maria, and I don't think she's here today, but our communications to get out a message to, especially, like I've heard it from Anatoly and some other groups, that 1 is not the final product, but 2 is the final product.
Yes.
Because I've had a lot of people stop me and I'm like, no, that's not the final product. And they're like, they don't know that. So they're getting mad for no reason, when really it's just, it's gonna take time. We understand that. Thank you so much for developing. But if we could get a message out to help you kind of tell everybody, hey, this is how it's gonna look in the end, so please don't freak out right now.
Yeah, we did in the last few weeks. We have put together a marketing.
Yeah.
With Dahlia and Kwok. We've somewhat recognized some of those coming through. So we do have a thing we can
There she is.
distribute.
That one. She just walked in. Maria, wave your hand. So have her put her through all our channels to be like, hey, in case you guys ask this question, because that'll at least tell everybody in our community that, hey, this isn't the final product. We're still working. Give us time.
Yes, understood.
Thank you.
So what about streets where you came through in June and put out orange flags, and the orange flags are still there?
I think you're referring to
Orange flags say
Anatolia?
utility. No, nope, Data Drive, Disk Drive. Across the street here.
on the softscape in the grass, the orange like little wire flags.
Yeah, all your little utility flags. Some of them are still there, some of them have disappeared, and I stuck mine in the flower bed. We needed to mow.
Understood. So the purpose of those is we are required to mark utilities out. So in Softscape, they mark them with flags they should be removed once we complete that area.
You've never been back.
It sounds like it, yes.
Sorry.
No, I apologize. We can get those taken care of.
Thank you.
Yes.
Please continue.
So this is a little bit of the numbers in our, we have a fully integrated digital system that's tracking our work and our permitted footage. The 600,000, I think this was probably a week ago or so. Some numbers on the right are kind of the work zones we're in and where we've been, but we are tracking all the different items. Can use. This is a map of our conduit that we've put in the ground so far. So we were starting up in the northern section to get ahead of some asphalt paving projects. We transitioned down into Anatolia, and we've done those two sections, and now we're actually right around here in City Hall. A little bit east of City Hall is where we're working currently. But just kind of gives you an idea of where we've done most of our work. Systematically or fundamentally, from here on out, we're probably going to be working from the City Hall out because our central network is closer to City Hall. And then that way we can move into customer acquisition methodically from there. But that's a basic concept of how we're going to be building out the network from here. We do have a strong quality assurance. We have inspectors deployed with every crew. On the left is a close-up picture of the trench that is only 2 inches wide along the gutter line and the asphalt. The middle picture is what we call our laterals, which is installing the conduit to every home. And on the right is a picture of some of the traffic control aspects. You can kind of see an open trench there that we did that day. But that does get closed up every day. Our communication with the community, a little bit of a sample of our door hanger. We do have some leaflets for some of our community events that we're involved with. And then we do employ a dedicated team to manage the community's experience. John Marchuk is our city project manager, working with our contractors. We have a community relations specialist that deals with some of the community interactions. We do have a sales executive that's working with MDUs and HOAs on a one-by-one basis. And then we also have a marketing team that's dedicated to social media marketing, bringing awareness, and trying to create a positive experience with the community. We are going to get more and more involved with community events as we go live and work our building our network. We will have weekly or bi-weekly food trucks that follow that network build that tries to engage the community. Community relations are involved kind of as a goodwill to the areas we just built out. Some of them will have been built for a little while, but we also look at sponsorship opportunities if there are any in the community. So please let us know on that.
As chair of the Children's Museum, I would like to thank you for your sponsorship of our Airways program or exhibit. So.
And the last thing for me is our Fiber City Aid, which is a government subsidy through kind of a needs-based program. So if there are specific needs in the community, we'd love to be aware of them on an individual basis, mostly, that we are in it to service every home in the community. So thank you for your time today. Any other questions?
Thank you very much. We appreciate that this is a completely unique kind of a thing to do and that there will be hurdles along the way. So thank you for putting up with our questions.
Thank you.
Anything else? Questions for the gentleman?
I just want to say we appreciate the partnership. you know, this is a really unique opportunity that Rancho Cordova is getting. And we are very happy you chose us and we chose you to make this work. And we look forward to a successful completion of the project and literally giving everybody the option to get fibered up.
Agree with you. Yes, very much so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So. Okay, all right. Thank you. And so our final presentation, we will not meet again until after, or in open session until after Vice Mayor Sanders' birthday. So we need somebody to lead us in celebrating.
All right, people, it's time. It's time. You know what time it is. It's time for us to sing David Sanders' birthday. I don't know his middle name. Middle name, people? Anything?
Anybody?
David Mark Sanders. Marvin. David Marvin Sanders. Happy birthday. Didn't know that. Didn't see that at all. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Marvin. Love it. Happy birthday to you. Hey!
Excellent job. Thank you all very much.
Your dad would be so proud. Okay, moving right into public comment. This is the opportunity for citizens to address the council on items that are not on the agenda. Please remember that for items that are not on the agenda, we can't take any action, but we will be happy to put you in touch with staff or, if necessary, schedule something on a future agenda item, depending on what the topic is. And we would ask you to take 3 minutes and give us your comment. And Stacy, I know we have a lot of public comment tonight. Do we have anybody to speak in public or in or on Zoom or whatever?
Yes, so I do have some speaker cards, and I do want to share some directions for those who are joining
Please.
us by telephone and Zoom. If you are joining us and would like to make a public comment via teleconference, please use the raise hand feature that's located on your screen. If you are participating by telephone and you would like to make a public comment, please press *9 to raise your hand. For those participating by Zoom or telephone, please wait to be called upon by the city clerk.
And please remember, if your item is about an item on the agenda, even if it's on the consent calendar, then we will hear your public comment at that point in time.
If you are here in the council chambers and you would like to speak on items not on the agenda, there are speaker cards located in the back of the council chambers for you to complete and bring to me. We'll start this evening with Cheryl Longsworth. Following Cheryl will be Faiza Mughal, Helen Whalen Bashaw, Tara Kolvenbach, and Bhaskar.
Welcome, Cheryl.
Good evening. It's been a while, and I've been trying to get on the calendar for giving a formal presentation, but you guys are just too busy. You have too many things to do. So Stacy recommended that I to share my presentation via public comment. So on April 15th, I'm the president, let me start. I'm the president of Optimist International of Rancho Cordova and Gold River. And on April 15th, our club hosted our first in-person Dream It, Be It program. Dream It, Be It is a program that middle and high school students participate in and leave with more confidence, new tools to overcome obstacles, and achieve their goals for the future. At our 6.5-hour program held here at the American River Room, we had 4 students from Cordova High School, 1 student from Rosemont High, 1 student from Elk Grove's Smeeburg Middle School, 1 student from Christian Brothers, and 3 homeschooled students participate. Our curriculum covered how to identify your dreams, values, and goals. And then we asked our students to create a dream board. And this is, I don't know if you can see that. There it is. So this is an example of a dream board. The students put their dreams and their hopes and goals on the poster board. And then all the participants got to walk around in a gallery walk and post their notes of encouragement and oh wow, you go girl, and just to keep positivity going. Then we reviewed the Rising Above Obstacles module and had several activities. Then we reviewed the Managing Stress module and practiced some stress relieving techniques. Then we went into a financial literacy module about how to create a budget, the perils of credit, and how to find money for college. Then we reviewed how to put everything learned together that day to help them achieve their dreams. We had mentors who were a fire inspector, a Siemens quality mechanical engineer, an attorney, a Superior Court commissioner, just a bunch of really accomplished professionals participate in our program. And they also participated in the activities. I got 1 second. So each student who entered, I'll wrap it up real quick. Each student who participated was entered into a drawing and won to win a laptop. And the gal that won was very excited to win a laptop and a nice case. And we also loved having Linda.
Please wrap up your comments.
Yeah. Linda presented all the completion certificates to all of our participants, and they were very excited about that too. I'd like to thank Garrett Gatewood and Siri Pulapati for your generous donation, because without it, we could not have made this day possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Liza?
Welcome, Liza.
Thank you. I'm Faiza Mughal from Lincoln Village. For the benefit of the public, I'd like to explain that a public record includes any writing containing information relating to the conduct of the people's business, be it prepared, owned, used, or retained by any local agency, regardless of physical form or characteristics. That means we have the right to ask for writings made or received by our city council members if they are about our business, regardless of format, like a text message, a DM, a social media post, perhaps on Nextdoor, personal emails, or even handwritten notes taken during Zoom meetings. On October 3rd, I sent the city a public records request asking for any and all documents to, from, or between council members discussing our city's districting. It's been over a month now, and I'm still missing documents from some of the council members. Your staff hasn't requested an extension or cited government code in writing to explain if and why the documents being withheld by the council are exempt from disclosure. Those would be the proper protocols to follow if you had a valid reason to be withholding. Adam, do you remember calling me on May 19th, 2021, apologizing for Darcy withholding a document I requested via public records request, telling me on the phone that you would train staff better regarding compliance? Well, here we are 3.5 years later, facing the exact same issues regarding protocols and compliance. What happened to that training you promised? 2 weeks ago, I wrote to you, Adam, an email asking what you were going to do to remedy this non-compliance with my PRR from October 3rd. I have yet to receive a reply. It appears you've blown me off. So here I am once again, demanding this body follow the law. Or doesn't that matter anymore? Thank you.
Thank you, Faiza. Helen? Welcome, Helen.
Hi, I'm Helen Bashal. I'm from the Tiffany area. Two things. About 2 weeks ago, I attended a meeting over in a park about a cell phone tower. I was shocked to find out that the Park Service, who doesn't fall under the city of Rancho Cordova, had the audacity to want to put a 55-foot cell phone tower in a park 5 feet away from the bicycle area. I reminded them that this, to me, is no different when we had housing put under high power lines, and 20, 30 years later, they found out about the side effects of cancers and other things. I think the city needs to capture and take back our park services. Quit sharing it with everybody else, and we need to have the park services under, because I don't feel that they are looking out for the betterment of our children. I feel they're self-serving and trying to bring in an income at the cost of our children. Enough said on that, because they did, after the meeting, they did tell me they were gonna decide that this was not a fit. So they had the other meeting and they told the people who showed up that it wasn't gonna happen. Another thing I'd like to point out is there's a phrase in management called what do you call it? A transfer, an action transferred is not an action completed. And I bring this up because, Dave, about a month ago, you asked me for would I professionally assist with the mailbox issue, since I was retired manager in the Postal Service. I agreed to it, and to date, no one's contacted me. So just because it was transferred for my acceptance does not mean it's completed, because to date, no one's contacted me, and I imagine the people who are having the mailbox issue with the central located mailboxes, which are the CDBSs out there, are a little concerned, because it is an area where it affects people's livelihood because of identity theft. So I believe that the action transferred is not an action completed in this particular event. Thank you.
Thank you, Helen. Bob, somebody?
Tara Kolvenbach.
Oh, sorry. Tara, welcome.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, city attorney, city manager. Thank you for everything. My name is Tara. I'm with Stone Creek, and I wanted to bring up about Alicante Way. I don't know if people even know. I love the word Alicante because I love Alicante Boucher, which is the only grape that is red inside and outside, just so you know. So try it. It's really good wine. But Alicante, if you go by Dollar Tree on Zinfandel and you go in the back, and I do that because Zinfandel is a mess there by Walmart. So I go around and to the back, and it's a tragic area. A lot of the businesses are closed, and there's a lot of people that live back there. There's a lot of trash. And I've been noticing at Dollar Tree, there's a lot of people just sitting on the sidewalk. It looks really bad right there. And I just wanted to bring it to your attention. I don't know if there could be anything done with that area, but I mean, Alicante Way, it's beautiful. So can we, I don't know what to do. There's a lot of trash. There's just, it seems tragic back there. So I just wanted to bring it to your attention because most people don't go there, but I do just because it's easier. And if it was empty, I wouldn't care, but there's people back there, you know. So I just wanted to bring it to your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Tara. You know, one great thing you can do is use the city app to post a notice to code enforcement staff or whoever's appropriate. If you're talking about potholes, you can do that. Graffiti, you can do that. All sorts of issues. But use the city app, take a photo or just describe it and send it in. And then you know that someone on the receiving end will actually follow up with it.
Chief, you got that? Okay.
Buskar.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, city staff, and community members. We are here to thank city for helping our Diwali festival, also called as the Festival of Lights, last night. It was a huge success with over 2,000 people attended the event. The event had special fireworks display, carnival games, costume competition, singing, dances, photo booth, many like stalls, all kinds of attractions. Yeah, here my team members are here, Vandana Sharma, Josephine, and Anu Shakti. We are here to thank city for providing this opportunity. This is a great platform to bring like a diverse people and strengthens the community bonding. We appreciate all your help. Do you guys want to say anything?
Thank you, inviting for the next year right now.
Thank you. And also I want to thank Council Member Pulipati and Council Member Gatewood for attending the event and addressing the attendees. Thank you.
Thank you. Happy Diwali.
And we brought some Diwali sweets and we leave like gift bags, leave somewhere here so that you can collect them later today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Remember, next year, cricket team playoffs in Rancho. We talked about this. Cricket team playoffs at the Stone Creek in the back. So we have the festival, and then behind it, we have the cricket team playoffs. If you guys don't know this, there's a 40-team cricket for older individuals that's going through Rancho Cordova, and we were one off taking the championships last year. So this is the year we win it. So next year, professional cricket team playoffs at that. You can get some money from me for that. I'm down. Whatever that has to happen, you know what to do. Thank you.
Those are all the speaker cards that I have for general public comment. I'm now going to read off the names that for individuals who submitted public comment via email, and then I will be going to Zoom and the telephone. Public comments that the city of Rancho Cordova received for public comment were emailed to us. We have placed those on the city's website. They are printed in a binder in the back of the council chambers if you are with us today, and they have been distributed to the city council as well. There are 35 emails that we have received for general public comment, and I'm going to go ahead and read those names of the individuals who submitted those comments. Rosie Yacombe, Carl Salmason, Wayne Watts, Lisa Sanchez, Lilia Hogan, Katie McCammon, Camilla Vogel, Roland H. Brady, Mary Tappel, Kathleen Ford, Teresa Spalding, Greta Lisson, Maya Van Diver, Terry Joyce, Bryn Dickinson, Julene Stencil, Stephanie Mullen, Katie Justice, and Todd Glidhill, Gwen Sage Pasquale, Leslie Stradley and Craig Stradley, Catherine Vigran, Dimitri Golaloin, David Tillander, Mark Hendricks, David Ingram, Pam Kennedy, Jesla Dewey, Morel Strand, Kay and Lee Yeager, Lindy Shaw, James Garcia, Ivory Rubin, Jennifer Garcia, Brenda Guston, and Marilyn Metzger.
Thank you. Then we'll move into our council reports, and we'll start with Donald Terry.
And there were, one more thing, there were no hands raised in Zoom or by telephone.
Thank you, Stacy.
Yes.
I'll be brief. Sierra and I both attended the 2x2 with Elk Grove Unified, where we had some updates on future plans for schools and things of that nature. I think I'm still on the naming committee, so if anybody's got ideas for the new elementary school that you want to float to me, let me know. But in general, they did choose the site that was closest to Grantline. So it was between Sunridge Park or over closer to Grantline, and a lot of the growth is obviously over in the Grantline area, so they chose the one there. We also got an update around the plans for McGarvey Elementary. Will likely have additional portables being put on it to start to maximize the space there. Sunrise is pretty much maxed at this point. We also had some additional information about busing and some of the issues that we're still seeing out there that we're also seeing in every single school district in California too, which is that everyone's struggling to find bus drivers. And Linda, I'm sure you're hearing that from RT and just about every other industry in California. But they're working on it, but it is a lot of kids that are being bused from the South area. I did attend my Los Rios Colleges Foundation, which I guess I'm kind of appointed from here and from my day job. But I think, David, we've been sharing some emails back and forth. I know I also had a conversation with the new president over there. It doesn't look like there's a need for that second building in the near future next to the community center. So I'm not sure when that's necessarily going to come. I know pre-pandemic that was something that we thought was just imminent, was going to happen, especially with the Promise program, that their enrollment was just so high. But now you're starting to see most community colleges hovering around, 50, 60% of their students are online. So the need for classroom space is just not the same as it used to be. The Air District did meet last month. We're moving from the Spare the Air days to the Check Before You Burn, which I believe starts in a couple weeks. So transitioning over to that, if you're gonna have a backyard bonfire, or you're going to try to heat your house with something like that. Hopefully we don't have a lot of houses that have that kind of need, but or using your fireplaces and stuff, make sure to check before you burn. That's it.
Thank you, Donald. Garrett?
There's so many events, so I'll make it fast because everyone's here and we're going to talk a lot. So met with Josh Hoover to talk about what he can do at the state to help Rancho Cordova out. Met with Councilman Omni Berra and Congressman, Ami Berra. As we talked about the connector. The connector is the back road of Rancho Cordova that connects our whole city. Right now, it's really hard to find funding because they believe that somehow smog exists above Rancho but never leaves Rancho. Like a magic cloud smog that just kind of exists that stops us from building, which drives me crazy, and I don't lose it because I'm a good person. But that being said, you will build our damn connector so we can be ready for the next generation of Rancho Cordova citizens. Russian American Media had their big event, got to go to that. Walked around, talked to a bunch of people. We have a giant Middle Eastern and Russian community in Rancho Cordova, so it's always good to see them. I went to 2 Diwali festivals. I'm going to mess these up, but Baps and Suda nailed it. Got out there. It is amazing how big and diverse Rancho Cordova is, and so we're always excited to partner with these groups to show our culture and how diverse we are. And they had fireworks, which is also awesome, and so great thing to see that. State of the City, Linda did an amazing job. Here's where she cheated, so just don't, you got her, she wrote her own. So that doesn't fair because the rest of us have to get help. She wrote her own, so easily the best speech out there. Wrote her own speech, and it was more entertaining than anyone else because most of them are boring, but this was great. Not to say yours was boring, Donald and David, but
I guess I should say thank you, Garrett.
it was great. It was great. It was great. I was entertained. I was like, oh, is that what's going on? Thank you to River City Christian for throwing Trunk or Treat, a great community out. Met with the North Steep BIA and pitched a bunch of people why you want to come to Rancho Cordova, why you want to do business in Rancho Cordova. I still feel like this is literally the best place to build, work, live, play. By far, anywhere else in the community is not as well supported. Look at all my citizens showing up because they care. Was with the Library Commission, and after a very, very, very long meeting, they asked me what I thought, and I said, I think you should build a library in Rancho, and why I'm on a commission when I don't have a library. So hopefully, Rancho Cordova is getting its a new library. And lastly, Thermogenesis has moved into Rancho Cordova. If you guys don't know this, they've been here for 30 years, but they actually have right now 30 patents that are all cancer treatment stuff. And so as this disease seems to ravage everyone that I know in my community, there's people out there that are working, and if they can help get these patents through, They have like a 92% success rate once you get these treatment therapies, and it's using your own white blood cells to generate the stuff that fixes you. So, and that's it.
Thank you, Garrett. Siri?
So I'll continue for Council Member Donald spoke about. So I attended the Elk Grove Ad Hoc Board meeting, and we did talk about the bus situation for nearly 600 students that get bused from the southern Rancho Cordova into Elk Grove, and they make a nearly 50-minute drive up and down each way, starting at probably 6:50 a.m. We have 9 buses, and that's not really nearly enough for these students. They, on days that there's early dismissal, they still have to hang out on buses. When there's rain, when it's too hot, they don't have a lot of backup situations and where to sit, and it's not supervised. So we're still working through with the Elk Grove School Board to see what options we can have. Like you said, right now they do have the highest paid bus drivers, but there is still a lot of potential for growth and improvement for the students. We also talked about the next elementary. The Grant Line Elementary School will be built in 2025, so that's good news. And we did talk about the absolute need for the next middle high school in this area. Along with Councilmember Garrett Gatewood, I attended multiple events. One of them was the opening of Thermogenesis. And like he said, that they had their Ready Start classrooms and wet labs. They are a cell and gene therapy company. And the best part is these people are not just innovators and working on research for just themselves, but if there are other researchers with a plan, they will support them in their lab. So others can go in there and use them as a manufacturer for their solutions. I did represent Mayor Linda at the Roundtable U.S. Conference of Mayors. We talked about the federal advocacy. Most of the cities, including us, we talked about the need for local control on the housing situation for the homeless, and also the lack of transportation or need for more transportation in the area. Again, Councilmember Garrett and I attended the legislative tour for the Southeast Expressway, and as he mentioned, that road really needs to be developed. And we did get the update that the design phase is fully funded, but we still need the funding for the construction. And there were a lot of us, not just from the city of Rancho Cordova, city of Folsom had representation, our county supervisors were there, city of Elk Grove was represented. So we were all in there to ask for this funding. So we're hopefully going to get that pretty soon. Over the weekend, I attended the Student Association for STEM Advocacy, and there were many high schoolers from throughout California advocating for STEM, and they wanted to know how they could advocate through their local elected officials, their state, county, to the school board, how they could promote STEM. And of course, this is my passion project, and I was talking to them about going to their local all the way up to congressmen, how they can go promote STEM and ask for funding and spread the message. This is the festive season, so I did attend the BAPS Diwali function here in Rancho. I attended the Formation Day of the Kannada Sangha. The Diwali in the park was the highlight last evening. We had the spectacular fireworks. As you know, Diwali is the festival of lights, which is essentially light over darkness, good over bad. And, I think we blew away all the darkness yesterday night. And saving the last is the best state of the city speech by the mayor. Very well attended, and it was a great event. In case you missed it, the video is out on our website. Please do go watch it. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I will try to keep this brief. It's been a lot of meetings since we've done proper updates, so I'm going to have to skip through a lot of things, and I'll just start with the most recent. Sure. Last week, I was at the National Academy of Public Administration in D.C. This is an august body of national leaders. Many of them head federal agencies or large state agencies, or they're prominent faculty at universities. I was able to attend because I was made a fellow there about 10 years ago, I think through the aegis of our city manager at the time. But it's a remarkable place to go and talk to people who have great influence over things that happen in our communities. And it's a unique opportunity for me to get feedback and also look for partners with our city. So in this particular case, they have a intergovernment or interagency group that solely focuses on the relationship between local government, state government, and federal government with regard to getting something complex done like homelessness. And I think I'm probably going to be added as a panel member to that group to come up with a report and hopefully action items or even trial projects that could be applied back here to us in Sacramento County and Rancho Cordova. So it was it's always a fascinating meeting to see where people at the federal level in particular are thinking with regard to things that influence us here and impact our lives here in at the grassroots. I had to explain to them actually, because a couple of folks were talking about, well, as you elected officials move up in rank, I was like, that's not how it works. If you want to think about it, particularly on an intergovernmental basis, think horizontally, right? You can be in a city council or you can be a member of Congress. If you want to get something done, you're on a city council. If you want to pontificate, you're in Congress. But you do not get things done in Congress. That is a misnomer. And actually, the room agreed with me and said, just think horizontal moves or invert what you were thinking, but depending on your priorities. The community council had a great mention and Rancho Cordova in last week's Business Journal, which I saw, which sparked a very interesting interaction. So the mine shaft, the movement of the mine shaft, the funding of that by the city and the community council in a partnership was featured in that article. The original builder, owner, operator of the mine shaft saw it and is coming up here next week to talk to some people. So Linda, you should definitely be in that room, and we should think about
Craig and Carrie Young.
recording that interaction because he wants to
They
tell you.
don't like me.
They don't, well, you're saving the building that they spent their life in, so I suspect they're gonna like you.
Right.
And I'm not sure that's the name. I think the name
Yeah,
is,
Craig and Carrie Young.
I
their
think the name
dad-
is different.
Their dad was Lou Young.
Oh, really?
Who has a street named after him.
That's why we have that street. In any case, Heartstoppers just closed. It had record results as a haunted house. Tons of people came and saw awesome things in Rancho Cordova. And we're gonna have an opportunity next week to talk to the guy who built it. So that should be a fun ad and something historical for us. I've attended a lot of meetings. The community leaders of America met in Gulfport, Alabama. I was at Cordova's last home football game, which was an incredible football game against Johnson. They won 29-22, went down to the last second, literally. There were a bunch of people where I was standing by Max Miller, our longtime football coach. So I was watching the Cordova game with Max, the ex-coach, sort of yelling in my ear about stuff. And the funniest thing I heard was the play went all the way down to 1 second on the clock, and Max is yelling, "We keep the time, for God's sake. What's wrong with the timer up in the booth?" Because we were at risk of losing if they scored. And he said, you don't stop the timer when the ball crosses the line. You stop the timer when the ball hits the ground. It's like all these insights you get into football by standing by somebody by Max Miller. But that was a absolutely remarkable moment at that school. They have had a good football season, I would say, this year. They've got a ton of kids coming together. They had a lot of audience, participation and presence there. And when they won that, under all that stress, I mean, all 4 quarters was just a battle. 29-22 is how much they won it by. It was just a catharsis, I think, for a bunch of kids who put so much effort into success this year that, the investments we've made over the years, the support we've given, that's the win. When a bunch of kids can come together and feel that and have that feeling for the rest of their life is something they accomplished there. So that was a special moment, and I just wanted to try to share it with you in the best way I could. But it was great.
Channeling Max Miller.
Yes. So I've participated in podcast meetings. We have an RCAA retreat tomorrow night. My schedule is incredibly booked, but I do want to commend 2 artistic productions that happened in Rancho Cordova in the past few weeks. One was a Cordova High School production of the play Clue, which was outstanding with great stagecraft. I don't know how many people saw that, but we should do a better job actually of promoting what they do because the level they're operating at is really amazing. And the other great success we had in the community was The Crucible, which was performed at Capitol Village Park in the amphitheater there, put on by the Hummingbird Theater Company. So congratulations to both those groups, and I commend their future productions to everyone. That's my report.
Thank you, David. Actually, you're right. Cordova has struggled and struggled, and this year, I think they came out 50-50, which is pretty good. So many of us went to homecoming, and they went into overtime and lost by 1 point, which was just a heartbreaker, but they have done so well.
So to have this one happen after that, it was just
Yeah, no,
wonderful.
you are absolutely right. This is terrific. So we had Halloween, and actually, I was pleased to see that we had more kids at Halloween this year than I've ever had before, because where we are, we've usually gotten like 4 or 5. This year, we actually had 40. It was basically a group of kids who were late elementary, early junior high, and they all came between 7:30 and 8:30, which was really interesting. Only a couple of little bitty people. Yes, Siri and Garrett and I attended the Best of the Best Awards by what is now called the Council on Cross-Cultural Affairs, and was absolutely just as delightful as it has been before. It was a pleasure to get up and congratulate them on what I really didn't know until we got there was their 20th year of this event, because several of us attended their very first event when it was over at the Platinum Palace on Coloma Road. So we've all grown up together. This was absolutely terrific. And yes, thank you to everybody who came to State of the City. As Siri said, I was really pleased that the room was full. There were people standing on the sides and in the back. And we really had a good time talking about where we have been over the past 20 years and what we've been able to accomplish. And when you look around and see that we are, at 20 years old, we've won so many awards. We've been an All-America City twice now. And David is about to be sworn in as the president of the National League of Cities. And any way you look at it, for an organization that is only 20 years old and a group of people who basically have all grown up together, this is just a really phenomenal accomplishment. So we're going to give David an applause for his pre-swearing in. That's going to happen in about 2 weeks from, or 15 days from today. So we'll ask our city manager if he has a report.
Sure, and thank you, Mayor. And I know it's been a busy few weeks when I still have things to talk about that I know some of you also went to, which is just the Rancho Cordova Chamber of Commerce had their annual, or their gala event, celebrating their 60th anniversary in the last few weeks. So that happened since our last council meeting, and so honoring them and the work over the last 60 years that the Rancho Cordova Chamber of Commerce has accomplished is quite substantial, including cityhood. That is part of why we're here today. So I want to kind of honor that and them in that effort. I want to build on the conversation around the Cordova football team, and we did have a big team contingent from our city staff team at that homecoming game as well, and we want to thank the team for being there and celebrating our local football team and celebrating the homecoming that night, and really appreciate Delisa, who put that together for our group, and so really had a big group and celebrating the homecoming event. Didn't quite get the win. The win came in the next week, I guess, and so but almost got the win for the homecoming. And then last, just want to congratulate our communications team. They received 2 awards from the California Capital Chapter of the Public Relations Society at their Influence Awards last week. And so I really want to thank Maria and Danielle and Lauren and our team as far as for the work that's been done and we continue to do for the city around communication. So with that, I'll give it back to you, Mayor. Thanks.
Super. Thank you, Micah. So we're going to move into consent calendar items. Consent calendar items are normally deemed routine in nature and can be approved by one vote. However, I know that we have comment on 16.2, so we will pull that off the consent calendar agenda. Are there public comments on any of the other consent calendar items?
The city clerk's office has not received any public comment for items other than emails for 16.2.
Okay, and does any member of the council need to put an item off?
Hearing none, I'll move the calendar.
Second.
Okay, but with 16.2, with the exception of 16.2, so. Stacy, will you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Gatewood?
Yes.
Councilmember Terry?
Aye.
Councilmember Pulapati?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sander?
Aye.
Mayor Budge?
Yes, thank you very much. So you want to read 16.2?
Sure. 16.2, the item is a second reading of an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Rancho Cordova, amending certain sections of the villages of Zinfandel Special Planning Area to revise permitted uses in the M1 Light Industrial and MP Office Industrial Park zones, including amending certain text and tables in the Sacramento County Zoning Code that are incorporated and applied in the villages of Zinfandel Special Planning Area, CEQA exempt pursuant to Guidelines Section 15061B3.
Thank you, Stacy. So do we have anybody signed up for in-person public comment?
Yes, we do.
And the number is growing?
The number is growing. Do you want to hear from staff first, or do you want to go directly to the public comment?
I think everybody's pretty familiar with it.
Okay. We'll start with the speaker cards that I have received from those here in the council chambers, and then I will go to Zoom and telephone, and then the public comments that were emailed to the clerk's office.
Okay.
Greg Meilenberg. Following Greg will be James Garcia, Jennifer Garcia, Helen Willem Bashaw, Chong Jen Chen, Tony Hamilton, Paul Carroll, and we'll stop there and resume. Greg Meilenberg.
Greg, welcome.
Okay.
So does he agree to switch?
No, I guess, but we're trying to get him, so I don't want to delay. But.
James, why don't you come on, I'll give,
Sure.
I'll give Greg.
Okay, I just want to make sure that you're.
Welcome, James.
Hello, I'm James Garcia, resident of Stone Creek. As you've known, I've been a strong supporter of this ordinance. Feel that it's in the best interest of the city to pass it. All of you glowingly actually supported it last meeting on the 24th of October, and hope that you continue to do the same again. There's a lot of reasons for it. Again, everything was done prior to cityhood in 2003 that we're being governed by. This is our opportunity to finally correct those mistakes that the county did prior to our city. Just really hope that you listen once again to all of us. There's a big line. There's going to continue to be a big line that are strong supporters of this. It's for our health and safety of all children that are around, fixing the wrong that is there with a lot of particulate matter, PM2.5 in particular, based upon a lot of these uses. They're heavy truck intensive uses or animal slaughter type functions that don't belong in a residential neighborhood. This was all built up as a residential neighborhood prior to any of these potential proposed projects that could still happen in the area if you do not pass this. That's what we're trying to protect. The livelihood, the values of our homes, the health and safety, protecting from asthma sufferers, anything else out there, cystic fibrosis. We have members of the community that suffer from everything out here, and the quality of life that this can help, along with many other things that have been mentioned. Our attorney has mentioned things that this is a first step. It's low-hanging fruit. It's not the end all for everything, but it's a big starting, jumping off point that's gonna correct a lot of things. So I just really highly encourage you to pass the ordinance as it stands right now.
Thank you, James.
Thank you.
Greg? Welcome, Greg.
Thank you. I apologize.
It's okay.
I would like to thank the Council Planning Commission first who put us together. I'd like to encourage the approval of the ordinance for this evening as it stands, and that for all the reasons that was previously spoken. At the same time, we don't have the infrastructure for the roads to carry the heavy traffic, not just to mention all the 2.5 particles that's going to be next to a senior citizen community and daycare along the highway. So I'll keep my comments short. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you, Greg. Jennifer. Welcome, Jennifer.
Hi, good evening. Jennifer Garcia, Stone Creek resident. I'm just going to kind of echo the other comments that were made. Thank you for passing the first round of this ordinance. I think it's very important for our community for all the reasons that were just stated. I'm not going to repeat them all, but I'm in favor for it, and I hope you guys continue to support us in the ordinance and changing what we need to be changed and done what should have been done when we became a city, but we couldn't. So I hope you continue to support us. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Helen? Welcome, Helen.
Helen, I just received your card for 16.2, but it has items 16.1 through 16.7.
No, 16.2. Should be 16.2. Oh, okay.
That's okay. I just want to make sure you didn't want to speak on all of them.
No.
Well, but she
Please.
wouldn't be able to, we already passed
No,
those.
I know.
Yeah, be nice. I'm Helen Wilbershaw
Thank
from
you,
the
Helen.
Tiffany area. I believe that the citizens over in the Stone Creek area have spoken loud and clear. They've made their points with real data, with professional witnesses or speakers, because many people in the community of that area come from a diverse background. I think the city needs to run with what was put forth, not modify it, because this will affect people's lives in the future. Just like the high power lines were a good thing to put housing under, and then 20, 30 years later, with all the health issues, they realized it wasn't a good thing. Once you affect the health of children, they take it the rest of their lives. Once you affect the health of older people, they don't respond or jump back with improved health as easily as they could. So I believe that as all the effort that was put through for the Stone Creek people, I think the ordinance should be accepted in entirety with the stuff that was, the information put in it that was put forth, because that's what the people want. And you've been elected by the people, so please represent the people and not some people who are financially going to benefit from some of your decisions that actually affect the citizens' lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Helen. Was it Chong? Chang?
Chong.
Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, and staff. I moved to Rancho Cordova since 2013. I enjoy working and live in the city. I am a strong supporter of an adoption of the ordinance that modifies the permitted use as outlined in the Green Public Hearing Notice dated October 15, 2023 for the Zinfandel Special Planning Area. I want to share, my son lives in West Sacramento, and there's this road, I think it's Southport, that every time I go visit, and there are potholes that I have to kind of watch and remember where they are. And I don't know if you ever driven over there, because I think there is a Amazon warehouse. So I said, Stephen, why don't your city, patch those potholes? He goes, Mom, they do, but they just keep appearing. And then to a point, I believe he said that they also have a cop. Now they have a weigh station to make sure that the trucks aren't overweight. So I'm strongly support of this ordinance, because I don't want Zinfandel to be that. And then so to a point at night, you can't see the pothole anymore. Sometimes I visit at night, I leave at night. I run through those potholes. So and then he says, "Oh, I just remember where they are because I know when to dodge them." So hopefully that's not our city and that's not Zinfandel. Thank you for
Thank you
listening.
very much. Is it Paul next?
Tony Hamilton?
Tony?
Hi, City Council. Hi, Tony Hamilton, Stone Creek resident, original owner. I'm in favor of this ordinance. Thank you for bringing it forward. I, like the other residents here, would like to continue to breathe the air without the particulate matter. I hope this ordinance preserves this community, and thank you again for bringing it forward.
Thank you, Tony. Paul? Welcome, Paul.
Following Paul will be Selena Wong, Mary Miller, Marilyn Metzger, and Alicia Abbott.
Good evening. It's been a while since I've had the pleasure of being here with you. I'm Paul Carroll. I should say I was a 16-year resident of Stone Creek, having moved out not this summer. And in the last 18 months, I've spoken with over 100 residents, if not 200 residents in the Stone Creek area, to talk about this community, the community that I lived in and they all live in, and what they love. And what they love about it is the vision they have for that place. Many of them have said, I moved here believing this was my forever home. I and my wife moved to our house believing it was our forever home. We then found that Kate had respiratory issues. And the deeper we dug into the challenge of particulate matter, particularly 2.5, we began to realize that it was just too dangerous a place for her to live with respiratory issues. When this ordinance was announced, I was very pleased because all the things you have talked about as city council members, what you are proud of the 20 years you've accomplished, and all the successes you've had in the city, this was an opportunity, and you stepped up to it and said, we have a vision for Stone Creek. Many of us had to ask that question for 18 months. What is your vision for this? Is it to become a warehouse district? And when we read the full details of the ordinance, we found that in fact you were saying, no, our vision is not that. And with the DA dissolving, we are now able to create the vision through the amendment of what's allowed and what's prohibited to realize the kind of vision that all the residents have and what we believed and found that you also had, which you had been talking about us all through the time when we were fighting the DA. So I commend you for this. I think it's an excellent ordinance, and I think it does a wonderful job in its detail of describing how things have changed since you were incorporated in 23 for the area of Stone Creek. And it reflects the kind of zoning that we all wanted for, hoped for, and now really hope to see put into place. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Selena? Welcome, Selena. Selena and Company.
Yes. Hi. City Council, Mayor, staff. My name is Selena Wong, and this is my husband, Richard Picard. We are both original homeowners in Stone Creek. And we're here to encourage you to adopt the ordinance that modifies the permitted uses of the Z-Spa. The ordinance is long overdue, and considering the close proximity of the spaces to schools, daycare, parks, and residences. By removing uses that are inconsistent with the community, you are demonstrating a priority on the health and safety of your constituents, and you would restore our faith in local government, standing for a balanced approach to land use. In a time when there is a greater awareness and growing medical evidence for the carcinogenic effects of fine particulates associated with semi-truck exhaust, removing uses that further increase such toxins is not only the right thing to do, but it's also the most responsible thing to do. There is no current cure for lung cancer. That means cure means 0% chance of recurrence. You always have a chance once you've been diagnosed. In a community of young children and seniors, this ordinance is an important protection. Lastly, the combination of smart, caring, and kind people living in Stone Creek makes this neighborhood a total gem in Rancho Cordova. When we moved here, we thought it was temporary. We've decided that we'd like to stay, and this ordinance would help us stay. So please, pass this ordinance as amended after the October 24th meeting and without exceptions for any developments that are inconsistent. Thank you.
Thank you all. Mary? Mary? Welcome, Mary.
Thank you.
And company.
Welcome, thank you. My name is Mary Miller. My husband's with me, is Philip Miller. We moved into, we're residents of Stone Creek. We moved in to our home in Stone Creek in 2003.
20 years.
And so it's been 20 years. We were original homeowners, and we loved the community. We loved, kind of fell in love with Rancho Cordova. And so I just want to tell you how happy I am about this ordinance, and gives me some hope and faith that our community, our neighborhood will maintain a quality of life. And I'm hoping that you will give it your final blessing and approval and protect us, protect our homes, our health, and our safety. Thank you.
Thank you all. Marilyn? Marilyn? Welcome, Marilyn.
Hi. Had to have come up and say something. I am one of those people that bought a house in Stone Creek. It was not anything I had planned for any length of time. Situations arose in Santa Cruz, and within 30 days of somebody coming to my house and saying, I have an offer for your house if you want to sell it, I sent my daughter out to look for a house, and I bought the first one that she found, which was Stone Creek, and it has been a blessing. I called it my years of emancipation in being in Stone Creek and living my life without any regrets. I live most of my life outside. My neighbors think I'm a little crazy because my living room is virtually in my garage. I watch the world go by. I like fresh air. I like sunshine. I am also one of the people that was seriously considering departing from my home because of this warehouse development. So you guys have given me hope that I can stay here. This was going to be my forever home. This is where my grandchildren are. This is where my job is. But it got a little scary. My daughters were encouraging me to sell my house before ... So I encourage you to keep the faith in us and to take care of us and let us fight the next fight. I already talked to David about what my next fight will be because I kind of like having a fight.
Oops.
And schools are...
Actually, I don't think we're surprised.
Schools are going to be my next one because I have grandsons who are in no man's land. They're in 7th and 8th grade right now, and thank God that we have design tech coming in because that looks like a really good option, I hope. Because, yeah, they're not going to be bused. My daughter owns her own business. She cannot be responsible for that kind of travel. One's at one school, one's at the other. So that's going to be my next fight. So thank you.
Okay.
Please pass the ordinance.
Thanks, Marilyn.
Alicia.
Pardon?
Alicia Abbott.
Alicia. Welcome, Alicia.
Hello. Hi. My name's Alicia Abbott. I am a resident in Stone Creek as well for many, many years. And I also fully support the approval of this ordinance. I know that it will, keep our neighborhood safe and family friendly. It will also help to, not increase the traffic, noise, air pollution, things like that. And it's just really important to have a safe environment, have a, friendly environment that is good for our neighbors and feel safe walking around. There's just people all the times out walking their dogs in the evening, all throughout the year, and on the trails and just in our neighborhood with bikes and things like that. And so I really just would like it to remain the way it is. And I'm really happy that this came forth and to, create more peace with everything that was going on as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Alicia.
Those are all the speaker cards that I have. Next, we'll go to Zoom. Sarah Malone. You'll have up to 3 minutes to speak.
Sarah, welcome.
Hi, good evening, all. Thank you, Honorable Mayor, City Council members, and city staff. I think it goes without saying that I too am in support of this ordinance. It's really about our lives, our homes, our health, our welfare. And I really appreciate all the work that you have put into this ordinance. I know it was a lot of work and very well written. So we're very thankful and very hopeful that it goes through the second time. I can tell you, we're out here traveling this wonderful country. We've been out here almost 2.5 months now and seen a lot of warehouses, a lot of areas with warehouses, none of which are near homes. And every time we see a clump of warehouses, we say, well, where's the homes? And there aren't any. So I'm grateful to you, all of you, for the work that you've put into this and hope that you continue to do so. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
The next speaker is Dilip.
Dilip, welcome.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council members, for giving me an opportunity to speak. My name is Dilip Naik. I am a resident of Stone Creek, original owner for the past 18 years now. My backyard faces Bold Beauty Brand's warehouse. I support this ordinance. It's about the health, safety of us, our children, and generations to come. My child has asthma, and these warehouses, the traffic and the pollution will make it worse. We appreciate you coming up with this ordinance, and we would like to encourage you, support you to approve this. And this is the right thing to do. We are very hopeful and thankful to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dilip.
The next speaker is Brenda.
Brenda? Hi, Brenda. Welcome.
Hi there. Thank you. I really appreciate being able to applaud you for your due diligence to find a way to support the residents of Z-Spa. It's nice to hear also all of the things that have been accomplished by the City Council and the City of Rancho Cordova the last 20 years. So you are protecting the health and safety of the residents as supported by the science related to long-term harmful effects of exposure to small particulate matter. As the commercial real estate market redefines itself, I think it's important to distinguish the difference between business and professional buildings, warehouses, distribution centers, and industrial uses. So integration of business and professional seems conducive to a residential area. However, uses that require 24-hour activities with diesel trucks do not belong in our residential neighborhoods. And I thank you for your unanimous vote to pass the first reading of this ordinance, all of your work that you did to put this together. And my hope is that you will once again vote unanimously to pass this. Thank you all.
Thank you, Brenda.
The next speaker is Val.
Valerie, welcome.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, indeedy.
Hi, good evening, Mayor Budge, council members, and city staff. I am currently in Carlsbad Caverns National Park and was fortunate enough at 4:30 this evening to see the bats, thousands,
Oh, funny.
probably 10,000 of them leave the cave. And it brought
Wow.
me to mind the ordinance that you're putting together for us, which um, I agree with, and I'm happy that the city and the planning department, everybody worked together to get this thing straightened out. That one day we will see more wildlife in our area, just because of the changes in the atmosphere and the air quality. Not only is it going to help us as residents, it's going to help our wildlife too. And if you haven't ever seen bats leave to migrate, it's something you need to put on your bucket list because it brought tears to my eyes what nature brings to us as human beings. I thank you all. I hope you vote for this ordinance as I am for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Valerie.
Next speaker is Regina Jones.
Regina, welcome.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, yes. I wish I could be there tonight, but I'm on grandma duty, so I'm chiming in on Zoom. I inherited this house from my dad about 5 years ago, who was a retired vet. He moved out here because he felt comfortable in the area and loved the being around, what he's familiar with. I wasn't real happy with the house when I moved in, and I said, I don't want to stay here. I don't want to stay here. But over the last 5 years, I walk my dog every day. My dog is more popular than I am. If she is not with me, where's Mila? Where's Mila? And now I'm starting to be more comfortable here. My grandkids live with me, and they are starting to learn the neighborhood and meeting new kids around here. And it's just starting to be a real friendly place, and I'm real happy. So I hope this ordinance pass. I'm a retired teacher. I retired during COVID. When COVID shut down, I was shut in the house. But you know what? I had the levee to walk on. I had the bike trails, and I saw the wildlife come alive, and it's a beautiful place. Um, I wish it could stay like this. I wish it could stay like this because I watched the kids. I watched the kids during COVID. I saw the hopscotch. Who does hopscotch anymore? The kids don't do hopscotch. I don't even know there's kids in the neighborhood until school starts, and I see all these kids come in. I said, "Where are all these kids during the day?" And so I hope we can keep this community like it is. I hope that I can raise my grandkids in this community. I have a screaming 10-month-old here who's ready to get out. And I really would like it to continue like it is. And I think my dad would be at peace. I'm getting emotional talking about him. Me being here with his grandkids and knowing. He died with COPD, and this would not have been a community that he could live in with if it if we brought in the warehouses and everything else. So again, thank you. I wish I could be there. I really appreciate the community, and again, thank you. That's it.
Thank you,
Bye.
Regina. We can hear babies in the background.
She's a beauty.
Next speaker is Marta Darby. Marta, you'll have up to 3 minutes.
Welcome, Marta.
Good evening. I'm Marta Darby, and I represent Stone Creek residents for Smart Growth, along with my co-counsel, Gloria Smith. I applaud the city's current effort to protect the health and safety of its residents through this ordinance. As you know, this ordinance presents the city with a critical opportunity to revisit stale, outdated policies that do not serve the needs of this community and that fail to protect residents from polluting, noisy activities that do not belong in neighborhoods. Our letter submitted to the Planning Commission includes comments from Dr. Petra Pless, a well-respected air quality and environmental expert with decades of experience. Dr. Pless's comments show that adopting this ordinance will have significant benefits. Among other things, the ordinance would avoid significant amounts of toxic emissions from diesel trucks by stemming the proliferation of large distribution centers. Such polluting facilities degrade the character of existing neighborhoods and put people's health at undue risk, as you've heard time and time again this evening and in the other kind of meetings before you. This is particularly true for children, the elderly, and those that suffer from illnesses like asthma. You've heard earlier from various legal claims and hyperbolic threats from Mr. Henderson's on behalf of Dermody Properties. His arguments do not have a sound basis. The path before you is free of hurdles, well vetted, and legally sound. I urge you to vote in favor of adopting the ordinance at this meeting. It is much needed. It is a much needed refresh and would help protect residents from serious threats to their health, safety, and quality of life. Thank you.
Thank you, Marta.
Additional public comment that the city clerk's office has received has come via email. The individuals that submitted written public comment, their public comment has been printed and it is in a binder in the back of the council chambers. It's been posted on the website for the city and it's been distributed to the city council. Those individuals include Eileen Sidelko, B. Fuller, Lynn Kay, Lisa Phoenix, Lori Hobart, David Higgins, Jonathan Lacrosse, Valerie Knipschild, Lisa Burns, Elaine Kane, Ivory Rubin, Gerald Wilson, Catherine Whitcomb, David Burns, Amon, Nanny Berger, Kaylee Pawa, Don S. Davison, Pio Enriquez, Paul Carroll, Jordan Castellan, Skip Bradley, Eileen Kasuga, John Steelman, Jordan W., Ernesto and Kiko Lopez, Sharon Meilenberg, Greg Meilenberg, Gerald Wilson, Alan and Melissa Vosper, Jess Cortez, Matt and Michelle Jost, David Ferguson, Dancy and Jean Adar, Mark Berry, Jacob Steelman, Timothy Johnson and Elaine Rice, James Adams, Janet Teitmeyer, Nicole Mulnix, Vera Ferguson, James Garcia, Brenda Gustin, Marilyn Metzger, Yolanda Koo, Albert Koo, Matthew C. Henderson, Eric Weiniger, and Don Session. There is an additional public comment via Zoom by Eric Weiniger. Eric, you'll have up to 3 minutes.
Thank you. I thought I was going to get missed. As an air quality scientist, I wish I was there. I'm actually at an industrial site that really drives home to me personally what the impact of industrial activities are. When I first heard about this new ordinance, I thought, well, damn, maybe this representative democracy thing really does work. I then thought of the time that several of us tag teamed to present a number of items to talk about community input. Ivory spoke about we the people and the impulse of our community, our country's foundation to be responsive to its citizenry. Greg stood tall and proud as a member of the armed forces. I spoke about the science. Valerie talked about her emotional ties to her home and how that would be impacted. Marilyn talked about noise and truck traffic logistics. James cited numerous contradictions and gaps in how the city code and other laws were not being addressed. And others spoke about their own personal impact. I'm currently listening to the biography of Ben Franklin, and in it there is a discussion of the people who lived there in the then colonies. Although they came from Great Britain's royal empire and were steeped in tradition, they had evolved into a more free-spirited, individualistic people, not bound by old and faraway rulers. I see a parallel in this current action. This community does not feel bound by 20-plus-year-old pronouncements that do not represent their will. A community that did not exist when those rules were passed down without any consideration of how the community would be impacted and to what the future might bring that they did not consider. As then, we reject the non-representative rulings of a faraway in time group to dictate how our life will be shaped by the environment around us. As then and now, a prime goal of government is to protect the country and or community that forms it. And as befits a truly representative government, you are invoking provisions of general law that are there to enable the protection of its citizenry. We have cited confirmed science about the health effects of industrial emissions. And please see my write-up from last week that talks about current science and regulatory activity. We have expressed our concern about the safety of our children as they walk to school. We have shown how a key component of our community and our future, our current and unborn children, will be impacted by harmful diesel emissions. We have documented the current noise issues from existing traffic, knowing that would only get worse if more industrial activities were initiated. So thank you for listening, consulting the law, and reading the science, and concluding that this community is not the right place for the cited industrial uses. And thank you for having the strength to resist the saber rattling of those outsiders who intend to build and then leave, not experiencing the impact of what they produce. I defy any of them to purchase homes and live adjacent to the proposed and future buildings. I have a home I'll sell them for just that purpose if they'll put their money where their mouth is. And I have challenged anyone to impeach the science. Has anyone uttered a word that contradicts that science? Absolutely not.
Please
Our
wrap up your
community
comments.
recognizes that what it may mean in terms of litigation and other trouble that this action will present to you. So kudos for resenting those threats. You have recognized the difficulty that this zoning has produced, and to your credit, you have responded as we hoped and expected as representatives of this community and as our neighbors in the community. We are
Thank you,
all
Eric.
the voice that should be listened to, not to vague legalisms and threats.
Thank you, Eric. Anybody else?
We have an additional speaker, Kate Carroll.
Kate, welcome.
Thank you, Mayor Budge. I wished I were there in this chambers this evening, but I wasn't feeling well, so I opted to stay put and do this on Zoom. I was expecting that I would be able to stand before you and express my sincere gratitude to the city for the ordinance that you're putting forth this evening. And this ordinance seeks to protect current and future residents of the entire Zinfandel Special Planning Area, as many of my colleagues have already pointed out. This ordinance is of particular importance to me as someone who suffers from chronic respiratory issues, as Paul mentioned earlier. These issues did force he and I to leave our home in Stone Creek. It wasn't easy to make this decision. But at our age, personal health must come first. With the research we did, thanks to many people like Eric and people who have shared their expertise, it was clear that diesel particulate, PM 2.5, would have a detrimental effect on my lung capacity. Out of respect for all the citizens of Stone Creek, the old, the young, and those in the in-between, I humbly ask that you overwhelmingly pass this ordinance to protect the generations of people who call Stone Creek home. It's my belief that the passage of the ordinance will prevent other residents from being forced to make the same decision that we did. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kate.
That's all the public comment that we have for item 16.2.
Okay, thank you very much. Colleagues, any comments? Are we ready for a motion?
Move the item.
Second.
Okay. We'll acknowledge that the environmental document is adequate and appropriate, and that we're just basically waiving the second reading. Stacy, will you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Gatewood?
Yes.
Councilmember Terry?
Aye.
Councilmember Pulapati?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sander?
Aye.
Mayor Budge?
Yes, thank you very much.
And Mayor, just to clarify, you said I'm sorry, given the circumstances, I want to be sure we're precise. You said to waive the second reading, but the motion was to waive the second reading and adopt the ordinance.
Correct. So we've got two consent public hearing items, and we'll do those, and then we'll take a 5-minute recess. And, Stacy, do you want to read the two items?
On the consent public hearing, the first item, 17.1, is a resolution approving the Community Development Block Grant 2024 Annual Action Plan. Item 17.2 is a resolution creating a special tax area, Zone 8, and an ordinance establishing a special tax for transit-related services for the Ranch Active Adult Project.
Thank you. We'll open the public hearing and ask if there's any public comment.
The city clerk's office has not received any public comment for items on the consent public hearing calendar.
Okay, colleagues, any comments or questions? Garrett, Donald, Siri? Okay, we'll close the public hearing.
Move items 17.1 and 17.2.
Second?
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Terry?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Zander?
Aye.
Councilmember Gatewood? Yep. Councilmember Pulapati?
Yes.
Mayor Budge?
Yes, thank you very much. Item 18, public hearing items, there are none. So now we're going to take a 5-minute recess. Okay. All right, we're back in session. Back in session. Casey, Stacy. I think I just flipped.
The subject is a resolution approving a grant agreement between the City of Rancho Cordova and Cordova Community Council Foundation for the mine shaft building transfer of ownership and relocation, and a resolution approving a loan agreement with the Cordova Community Council Foundation for the mine shaft building renovation and expansion project.
Thank you very much. Staff.
Great. Good evening, Mayor, Council. Kim Duran-Cara Giorgio, Administrative Services Director, and I'm here this evening with also Edgar Medina. And we're here this evening to talk about the mine shaft building agreements, this beautiful building up on your screen. So, maybe it's not working yet. No.
You turn it on? You turned it on, did you?
It's on. There we go. All right, so this, taking us back to December of 2022, the city acquired property located at 2300 Mineshaft Lane for the future Rancho Cordova Parkway Interchange Project. And while it was the city's initial plans early on in discussions when this property was acquired to demolish the building on the site, the Cordova Community Council had an idea, came to the city and proposed that the city transferred the building, ownership of the building back to them so it could be relocated and also expanded for future use. Further discussion on the mineshaft project and the proposed relocation and expansion were discussed during the fiscal 23-25 budget workshop. And at that time, the council indicated their support for the mineshaft project concept and directed staff to figure out a way to make this happen. And so that's what brings us here this evening. So there are two items before the council for consideration this evening. The first is a proposed grant agreement that would transfer the ownership of the mineshaft building from the city back to the Cordova Community Council. That same proposed grant agreement would also provide financial assistance in the form of a grant up to not to exceed $1.3 million for the relocation of the building to CCC's portion of the property, as you see up here on the screen from its existing location and kind of just to the right at an angle. That is what the first grant agreement would do. The second agreement before you this evening is a forgivable loan agreement for the proposed renovation and expansion of the mineshaft building. And what I would like to do at this time is invite Ms. Shelley Blanchard, Executive Director of the Cordova Community Council, to come up and just walk the council and the public through the project as it is proposed.
Good evening.
Well, good evening to you. So this is probably the wildest project you've heard recently, but I can assure you it is something we are so excited to begin. So what we're proposing is, after moving this iconic building, I don't call it historic, I call it iconic because I think it is. We're proposing an addition, shown kind of making it into an L shape, about 4,000 square feet. And so we can add the amenities that make it a modern and usable event space. Things like relocating the restrooms, a more functional elevator situation, box office and ticket booth, a catering kitchen, some office space, a green room for performances, and workroom and storage, none of which really exist in the building today. That's kind of step one. And step two is really urging you to think big, as we want to do here in Rancho Cordova, and that is to add yet another addition by opening up the wonderful vaulted area of this building into what we are calling the Great Space. It adds additional rooms, so it opens the space up for an amenity that is really missing from our city. It improves sight lines so that it can be used for theatrical performances and concerts, things of that nature, and provide banquet space for large groups not currently available in our city. Every time we talk about a project at the mine shaft, it creates a buzz. Everybody who grew up in the 80s here in Sacramento has a story to tell about their time at the mine shaft. Some of them shake their heads, remembering their lost youth. But we always get so much attention from people who kind of agree with us that it is, if not historic, iconic and in our area, and would provide really something that is missing from our city. We don't have a lot of historic buildings in Rancho Cordova, but this sort of approaches that. One thing I will say is we've gotten some news attention because of our appearance here tonight. We were featured in the Sacramento Business Journal and on television, and it has brought in so many interesting phone calls, including one today from the man who built the building in 1982, who was anxious to share the history of the place and help us figure out some of the mysteries of the mine shaft building. So as we move ahead, just reminding you that we're kind of inspired in the building by what we've seen in other places. And I always mention the Glacier Hotel. Thank you for including this, Kim, in your presentation packet, because I always keep saying, I think we're just a few great lighting fixtures away from approaching some of the beautiful parts of great American lodges like this, especially with the beautiful beams that are part of this building. So our request to you is, you actually own this building now, so congratulations for that. You had about 15,000 people pass through it during the month of October for Heartstopper's Haunted House. So we're excited to tell you that that's alive and well. But we have a broader vision for the mine shaft as it goes forward, and we can imagine everything from senior proms to great concerts and Little League sports banquets and everything that would go along with providing a great community amenity for Rancho Cordova. You are familiar with the project. Most of you have come out to see it, so I'm going to stop talking and answer any questions you might have about this rather exciting project.
Okay, thank you. Let's ask first if there's any public comment.
The city clerk's office does not have any public comment for this item, and I do not see any hands raised in Zoom or by phone.
Okay, super. So, colleagues, Donald, Garrett, Siri, David?
Happy to make a motion whenever
Questions?
needed.
Okay, I think we have a couple of more slides.
Just a few slides to wrap it up. So the second agreement before you this evening is a forgivable loan in the amount of $8.8 million to be given over 25 years. And that loan will be fully secured against the property until it was fully forgiven. and dollars would be dispersed as construction occurs. And in terms of the loan agreement, just as we've discussed how the facility will be used, that the mine shaft facility would continue to be a public event facility with amenities and capacity that you can't find elsewhere in the city. And it would be focused on serving community nonprofits and other community benefit organizations, as well as being a venue for the performing arts. In addition, Cordova Community Council will be responsible for full building management of this building. They will be responsible for the programming of the building and will serve as project manager for construction and payment of all construction costs. So those are just some of the terms of the forgivable loan agreement. So with that, the recommendation is to adopt the two resolutions that are before you this evening.
Okay.
Quick question before we adopt.
Sure.
Or before we decide whether we're going to adopt
Sure.
this building. So we own it right now, and I still didn't know where my office is in that building. That wasn't clearly stated by Shelley, so that's number one. Number two is the money that we're going to use. Are we own the building and going to take out a loan? Does it make sense that way? Is this the best way to get the money out instead of using cash, or how are we doing that? Because remember, we went away and you guys were going to figure out what's the most financially feasible, what makes the most amount of sense. Is it easier for us to own the property and then be able to maintain it for them? Because this is just what wasn't historic, what's the word you used?
Iconic.
Yep, that. It's an iconic building of Rancho Cordova, known for many a sleepless night and tennis balls shot at it from tanks. Kids, you'll find all about that someday. But is that the best financial way to be able to maintain this building? Because the last thing I want to do is, and Donald always brings this up, we buy something, we have to keep it up consistently. This building cannot be let to turn into an eyesore or something like that. How do we make sure to maintain it?
And that is part of what is written into the loan agreement, is those terms to make sure that the building is used as in accordance with the discussions that we've had with CCC, and maintained and programmed in a way that is consistent with everything that we've been discussing thus far. So that is.
He doesn't get an office.
What?
I wanna make sure that's clear.
I will leave that to
It's a
Shelley
no
to.
vote. That's
We'll give
a
you a parking spot.
with my name on it?
Yes.
Okay.
If
And
needed.
we're back to
If
yes.
we must.
But financially, is that the easiest way is to give it back, or is that harder for us to be able to give more money to it?
No,
in
the money for this project will be coming from the CEIF Legacy Fund, as we discussed during the budget process. And so it's being given in a form of a loan just to secure the city's interest in the building over a period of time. That is the recommended approach to this transaction, but the funding for it is coming out of the Legacy Fund.
Okay. Has to follow to that. So I think the reasoning that some of us had asked about ownership was that this could potentially be included as an asset for bonding. And that instead of this being a direct expenditure out of Measure H or whatever, that we could, just like the Children's Museum, we could finance the costs of this project. Is that what we're doing, or we're just clouding title?
Correct. We're just putting a lien on the facility during the term of the forgivable loan, but we're not using it. It will not be our asset, and it will just merely be our cash flow.
Okay, and that's what I thought we ended up with. But I just want to make sure that we're not doing what I had suggested, which was if we did own it, then it could be a part of our overall bonding. But you're just saying we're clouding title to ensure compliance with the agreement. Okay, thanks.
Okay, so if we are ready for motion, we have two resolutions.
So move, or I'll move both of the resolutions.
Second. With stipulations of my parking.
Stacy, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Gatewood.
Yes.
Councilmember Terry.
Aye.
Councilmember Pulapati.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sander.
Aye.
Mayor Budge.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank
Stay
you, Shelley.
tuned.
Okay. Item 19.2.
19.2 is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Rancho Cordova designating a time and place for hearing protests in connection with a proposed stormwater utility 1 fee increase, approving procedures in connection therewith, and taking certain other actions.
Do we need a presentation on this? Do we have any comment, or can we just move it?
Dahlia, what do you think?
I do have a few options for you to look at.
Oh, this is that one. Oh, okay, I remember now. No, go
We
ahead.
could go quickly to get to the
Yeah,
options,
go ahead.
though.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm
Let's go to
thinking
the
this is something
slide
else.
with
Go
the
ahead. Yeah, just
options.
bring the numbers
Options
up.
were requested.
All right.
Go right ahead.
All right, so good evening, Honorable Mayor, council members. I'm just gonna run through.
Jump to the
Just,
slide.
yeah, we've
Jump
seen
to
all
the
this.
slide.
Get to that.
All right.
Exit, find slide F5.
I forgot what this was. I know you did. That's all right. I was on vacation last night. I'm forgetting anything you guys were working.
Okay, so some proposed rate options, just picking up where we left off in our last presentation. There was an interest to propose additional options for the rate, as well as clarification on what the rate would be for commercial uses. In addition, we did include just an additional row showing what the increase percentage is. We did also inquire about implementing the rate increase over 2 or 3 steps or multiple steps, and that is something that we can do, provided that the approval up front for the vote by the residents is for the full rate, and then we can actually implement it over a period of time. So you will see here that we have an option that's recommended by staff for the 15-year CIP. That's basically, it will take us 15 years to implement all of the CIP projects that we know about for the master plan. It does not include what we don't know about. And then there's a 25-year CIP option as well as a 40-year option. So you'll see the table includes the annual amount as well as the percent increase and the corresponding commercial rate per acre for those options.
So Dahlia, remind us, does this cover the entire city limits?
It does not. It only applies to the Suwan area. So I'm going to jump back real quick. Sorry. And just remind the audience that it only applies to the green area. That's the stormwater utility 1 area.
Okay. So why is it just a piece of Sunrise Douglas and not either not there or all there?
So for the new development areas, as the projects get submitted for entitlement, we condition them to annex into the stormwater utility 2 area, and therefore they do get annexed into the new higher rate instead of being grandfathered into the Suwan area, which is the lower rate.
So it's a point in time thing.
It is. It has to do with when the project gets submitted for entitlement. That's when it gets conditioned to annex into the CFD zones as well as the stormwater utility areas.
David?
You were sort of asking the questions. I think, colleagues, a comparison between these two districts might be of interest to us. On the slide you were on before, I think it was there. But we've got this odd situation now where people here would pay a certain rate, and people next door would pay a different rate, even though they're both stormwater utility districts for us doing the same thing.
Right.
Yeah. That might be something we want to tease out here a little bit.
There is a slide that shows those
Right.
different amounts.
Yes. So I'm gonna now jump back to the table slide. So these are some of the options. What if we had an inflator all along? So using the inflation rate by the California Department of Industrial Relations, if the county had actually added an inflator to the fee when it was established back in 1995, the rate today would have been $156.94. Which is surprisingly very close to the 15-year option.
So if the county, when they set up these districts, had done the right thing, the smart thing, the good management thing, that would already be happening.
No, more importantly, say that all again. If they did the right thing, if they did the smart thing, we wouldn't be a city. We wouldn't have incorporated.
Well, that's true too, but I'm not willing to give this up. To not be a city.
Total mismanagement.
Yeah, that's how we got here. That's exactly right. So this is just, yeah, actually, for those of you who haven't been on the council as long, Linda and I are kind of used to this kind of cleanup. We've seen this. We've seen a lot.
25% cleanup.
Yeah, we've seen a
So-
lot of versions of this.
So David, to your question, I think the neighboring housing is paying going to pay 150, right?
So if you happen to be in an area that developed after the establishment of the SWU2, you are paying a higher rate. It is currently at $150 compared to the $70 for this one.
Right, so the pink one is SWU2.
Stormwater utility too.
And those are annual numbers, not
Yeah, yeah,
monthly.
Yes.
Because on my monthly bill, I was very curious about this. I got it like right after the last time we talked about this. My monthly bill is $128 altogether. But that's for refuse collection. It's got a regional, I'm sorry, that's regional sand, sewer. This is the utilities bill I get to my house.
It's only regional sand anymore.
It's just regional sand, right? It doesn't
Yeah.
have refuse on it. But the portion of it for this, out of $128, is $11.88.
That's
It's
right.
this tiny little portion of the sewer charge.
Yes, and that's actually for 2 months because the bills are bi-monthly. So the monthly rate is $5.80.
Yeah.
Right. So now, are we proposing that this go on the tax bill as opposed to getting a monthly or bi-monthly bill?
No, the implementation will be exactly the same, so it would still be on the county Cubs bills. And
Okay.
we currently
So-
do that in the SWU2 areas, so the implementation will stay the same.
Okay, so basically, if you divide $150 by 12 times 2, then whatever that is you get, that's what would be on your Cubs bill.
That would be what's on your Cubs bill every 2 months,
Okay.
yes. So we also wanted to provide comparison to some other neighboring cities. So for example, City of Davis just did an increase in the last couple of years. Their rate is.
And it was their increase.
That is a really good question.
Was it over
actually.
100% like we're suggesting?
I don't know about that, but I'll bring back the answer.
If they're at 70 now, it was probably $1 a month increase instead of a $5 a month increase.
I do know that City of Elk Grove went from having an annual rate of $70.08 to $246.84. And City of Folsom is still under general fund. City of Sacramento also went from $70.08 to $200. annual.
And those are annual. again.
Annual. These are annual.
70 to 200.
200, that's City of Sacramento. Because when all the cities were under the county, it was the same rate for everyone. So if we are to move forward with this rate increase, the process will basically extend all the way to March. We will come back and have a protest hearing, tentatively scheduled for January 2nd, pending approval of the council agenda for 2024. And we will do a final hearing in March 2024. We will actually tabulate the ballots and hope for approval. So protest hearings, we will send out a protest notice to all almost 20,000 property owners within the Stormwater Utility 1 area. It is a form where people can say yes, no, sign it, and submit it to the city. We need to get 50% plus 1 for it to be. We have to get 50% plus 1 no's
So like
for this not to
10,000?
proceed. 10,000 plus, yeah. So assuming we don't get enough protest notices returned, we will continue with the next step, which is sending out the ballots to all the property owners. The ballot tabulation is actually based on the number of ballots received. So if we get 100 ballots, whatever the majority number is, if they vote yes, that ends up passing the rate increase. So it's a little bit of a convoluted process, but.
That's right.
Yeah, it is.
It's 2 votes, kind of through
Yeah.
the process.
So wrapping up with what the recommended rate is, we are recommending a rate of $156.79. We are also open to the idea of implementing it over a 2 or 3-step process, meaning we get approval for the full rate, but we do implement it over a number of years. We have presented also other options for the 25-year or 40-year CIP implementation option. We do want to emphasize that these rates do not address full replacement cost, so we will still need to pursue other forms of funding. And then finally, next steps. Basically, we'll move forward with the protest hearing. We will send out those protest notices to all the property owners. We are scheduling that tentatively for January 2nd. And then we will mail the ballots, assuming we don't get majority protest, and then hold a ballot tabulation in March 2024. Implementation will be July 1, 2024. And that's really it.
That's it. So basically, if we go with the 156, it's sort of $26 on the, give or take a couple of cents.
13 a month.
Yeah, and if we go with the lesser, it's $22
$11 a month.
on a, yeah.
Yes, and I can go back to the table.
13 or 11 or 10, I think are the three options.
Yeah.
There it is.
Or 20.
Yes. So the monthly rate that's recommended by staff is $13.07. You do have the option to go with the $11.16 or $10.08.
Yeah. So there was a point when, well, actually, our regional SAN and SASD merged now.
They're, within a year, they will be, yes.
Okay.
We're
For a
close.
while, they were talking about going to.
Actually, January 1st, I think, is the action date, but it'll take a little bit to fold it together.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they were actually talking about going to monthly billing as opposed to, I mean, this is, actually, this goes back to when Dan was there and they started talking about the massive water cleanup that we all.
Massive rate increase, yeah.
That we all had to
Like
pay
the 100%
for.
rate increase we had.
Yeah, really, and so.
That was like
so-
$100 a month.
Yeah, so going to.
Or every other month.
Going to monthly billing as opposed to 2-month billing.
Yep.
Was one of their options to try to make it less of an impact on people. But apparently that nobody's ever talked about that again.
The processing cost of it was just painful. You know, mailing out twice as many bills, opening twice as many
Okay.
payments.
Well,
That
I'm
Oh,
trying to
well.
remember.
becomes onerous.
Somebody did that in this region. I'm trying to remember what it was, where it was like.
Golden State's just
yeah,
done it.
Yeah, where it's like they went from bi-monthly billing.
Cal-Am
and,
Water
and now
did
it's
that.
the same bill. It's monthly billing and the exact same amount that they were charging.
California
bi-monthly, so
American did that when they
yeah.
got a huge rate increase.
Well,
in the
yeah, within the
PUC.
last like 7 or 8 years, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so even 73% to me seems exorbitantly high. And I get that it's a small number, but if you look at it just from the standpoint of, I mean, we've been a city for 20 years. Why didn't we raise this? I mean, is this the first chance we were allowed to do this? I'm sure it's not. This is, go ahead.
Yeah, so we only took on maintenance of the drainage facilities in 2014.
Okay.
Hypothetically, we could have
Done it
done
then?
changes since then, but we have not.
Yeah,
I also had to do some engineering work to figure out how far behind what is like the status of the system.
But it didn't take 9 years. So,
I
well,
don't
you see what I'm
know.
saying?
I
Like-
don't know what it took.
I don't know. I
think
raising the cost of anything by that amount. I mean, if we want to do something and do like 50% now, and then in 5 years or something, the city wants to come back and say do another 50% on top of that, then that's one thing. But I don't know.
So we do have the ability to tier that. So I think you have to approve it, and I think as Dahlia mentioned, you have to approve it at the higher rate, but there is the ability to tier the implementation to where you can start at 25% or 50%, and so you can do that over time, to ease up to what that total amount is. So that is an option if you want to pursue that or talk about that.
I'd be more comfortable with something like that, but I'd want to see the numbers. So I know we kind of hemmed and hawed at this
Yeah.
last time, but still at a 70% increase on something like, I mean, even when you're talking Measure H, right? it's 8.5 cents and we're adding a quarter, right? Like we're talking fractional percentages at some point that we did and it went to the voters and whatever. So to me, this is just me, and if I'm the only one, but I'm not comfortable with any of these numbers. I'd be interested to see what a tiered approach might look like and how we would present that to voters. But at this point,
Dahlia, that's a really good idea. The last time the county had any giant increase, it concerned everybody, the BIA and everybody, just as much as this is concerning Donald. And so basically, they phased it in over a 3-year period. And everybody knew exactly when the new rate was going to take place so that they could turn their building permits in and pull their permits in time to avoid the rate increase. So, you know, when you're upfront, when you proactively declare what you're going to do and when you're going to do it, then it makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely, and we're happy to tier it, like Micah said, so we can, if we have an approved rate, we can do a 25% increase annually, we can do a 20% increase annually, so we can break it up over a number of years, and then annually, we send out notices to the property owners that the rate will go up and what the new rate will be.
So you would increase to 1307 over 3 years or something?
Right.
Or 5 years, or
Yeah.
10.
Or
So
5
that
years.
way-
Those
yeah.
are, but
So
I
that way,
guess
ultimately, you would still get the amount of money you need for the total maintenance project.
Although
It
maybe
just would take longer.
It'd be slightly higher number, because you lose a little bit of revenue in the close years.
I'm comfortable with also
mathematician.
extending the term, which I'm seeing here too, right? So one's a 15-year term, the other one's 25, and then we'd have to come back and revote on it, or like I don't.
I
So
think
then
it takes 25 years to construct versus.
That's what that is, yeah.
to do the whole plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Stays-
saying
I was-
15 years to like bring our system up to where it should be, or 25 years to bring our system up, or 40 years to bring it
Just
up.
deferring the capital investment.
Right, and I would like to emphasize that during that 40 years, a lot of other stuff will break. So this number does not account for that. We do have a lot of super old facilities that were built in the 1960s that were not necessarily identified in the master plan as a CIP project. But if we wait 40 years, I'm pretty sure we'll be way past their lifetime. So we could potentially have double the cost by that time. So just something to keep in mind as we
Yeah.
make our decisions.
So
You had
Dahlia,
a list of the facilities that we own at this point.
Yes.
Siri,
yeah, my question was, if we go hypothetically with the 15-year plan, and then we open up the general fund for those that need that kind of help that they cannot meet this funding, can we do that?
I would say that decision is not at my discretion. I'm not,
So, I mean, I think you have to, kind of, if you choose a rate, but if you choose to kind of, if there's a policy direction to do a program that does some sort of assistance for those who have trouble paying the rate, there are programs out there that could exist for those with need to assist that, it would be a separate program and a separate kind of conversation about where those funds would come from to support that kind of effort. But that would be a way to kind of get the need met but then helping those who may need the support.
yeah, I will add that the county would continue to be the one doing all of our billing. So they're pretty rigid about how we do the billing. So potentially they would just bill everyone the same. And if the city wants to implement some sort of a voucher program or a rebate program, that would have to be managed by the city separately from the billing process.
Yeah, so I think we have two proposals here, the gradual increase and maybe this general fund program.
and looking at the list of facilities that we actually have in the stormwater system, I mean, we're lucky that we don't have a lot of rolling terrain, so there's only 6 lift stations. And manholes get lifted when we resurface a road, so maybe that helps take care of those. I'm not sure about DIs. I think we just kind of built to it and let it go where it was. So maybe, if we phase it in over time, maybe nothing will really major will break.
That would be the hope, of course. It's unpredictable. I will say 4 of our pump stations are built pre-1985. This year, we're implementing just a facelift to the equipment, and that project alone is $4 million. We haven't even touched the pumps or any of the actual main equipment. That said, I think based on where we're at today, we're happy to see an increase, even if it's over time. And definitely adding an inflator will help too. So that would allow us to implement an inflator annually, just like we do with the SU2, and help us catch up on the backlog of repairs and CIP projects.
Okay, so let's ask if there's any public comment.
Yes. James Garcia?
James?
Hello. Actually, do you mind having that slide back up? That would be great that you had. Perfect. Again, James Garcia, resident of Stone Creek. I was here before, been on the informational community meetings, talked with Dahlia in the past, love it. Just a couple of questions I forgot to ask her was really, what is the average life of a pump station? What is the average life of after you do a remodel? Kind of want to know that because, one, I feel we need this. Again, we have 60-year-old equipment here in some cases. So I don't think it's a matter of when it's going to break. It's going to be, or if it's going to break, it's going to be a matter of when it's going to break. And again, these are only just to kind of help with our existing to get us up to par. Like the idea of a possible phased-in approach, maybe over a 5-year lifespan, so that way it's not a big hit to the people. Have the inflator built in there, tack that on each and every year as well, so that way it does go up, because we will have to go over $165 a year. I get it. It's life. It's equipment. Yes, I feel bad for those that are on fixed incomes, but that's where if we can have that type of a city extra fund maybe, or after 15 years, we go ahead and do like Folsom, put it in their general fund maybe. But then again, I know we have to fight for those funds for this purpose. So it's more or less, we have to do it. I hate the idea of 124% increase, but it's needed. I want to know what is the lifespan though, because if it's 15 years, then we definitely have to go with 15. If you say it's 20 years, I wouldn't go with 25-year lifespan because we're going to be fixing more. We're going to be asking for more of them. If we go with a 40-year, that's really going to be detrimental to the whole system because it's going to die. So think about that. We do need this for our community. I know Sunrise floods. I know Mills Ranch floods. That was the other one that was on the community meeting. We need to take care of those because they're not in floodplains. People that live off of Sunrise, where these were, they're not in a floodplain. They don't have flood insurance. That's going to cover it when that sewer backs up. That's what we're trying to protect too. No one needs to go after flood insurance because that is not for this type of purpose. It's if that levee breaks and that floods their home, not because of the sewer got backed up because of the pump. So consider that. We need it done.
Thank you, James.
Thank you.
Mayor Budge, that's all the public comment I have for this item.
Okay. So we're actually are or are not approving a
So
resolution.
I think the hope was to approve a resolution but what we might be able to do and what would be helpful is if you have a kind of a consistent agreement on maybe a time frame or an amount to start with, that would be very helpful for us to kind of bring back a more targeted resolution with that in the near future. So if there is some consensus on maybe an amount and maybe a time frame for implementation, then I think that would be helpful for our staff team to bring back something that has a little more concrete details to it.
It sounds like there might be consensus around a stepped-in approach to
Yeah.
get to the 15-year CIP.
So,
And then you just have to pick the number of steps.
so then we would go with the 156 and then phase it in over several years.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just be abundantly clear. I'm not voting for the 15-year number at this point.
Okay. Garrett?
Really? Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm with Donald. Not comfortable yet.
Siri?
I'm fine with the phased-in approach for the 15-year.
At 156?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we need a motion.
I move to approve the phased-in approach for the 15-year.
Okay,
Second.
okay.
Can we be clear on the amount of years for the
Number of years.
phasing? Number of years for the
you have a
phasing would be helpful
preference?
for us, so.
3, 4, 5.
We got Tara to say 5.
So you meet the goals of the CIP, but you
Fair, I'm
phase
really
in.
glad that was you that said it, because everyone else over here
increase-
works for the city, and I'm like, I hope none of them just said that.
So the increase over 5
Which
years.
which I didn't know you were
5 years
sitting
would
there.
be
so
fine.
look-
Okay, 156, the 15-year plan phased in over 5 years. Okay. We have a
So
motion
new
and a
numbers will
second.
come back to us, I guess, at a future
Right.
meeting.
Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Pulapati,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sander,
Aye.
Councilmember Gatewood,
No.
Councilmember Terry,
No.
Mayor Budge.
Yes, thank you. Motion carries. Okay, item 19.3.
19.3 is the fiscal year 2022 through 2023 preliminary year-end financial report and a resolution authorizing the budget amendment.
Welcome, Kim.
All right, thank you, Mayor, Council. Kim Duran, Cara Giorgio, Administrative Services Director, here this evening with a preliminary year-end report for fiscal year 22-23. And as a reminder, I do these every year around this time, and it's after we close our fiscal books. But we call it preliminary because we're in the process of going through our annual audit process, and so some numbers may change still. However, usually they're very minimal. So at this point, we feel pretty comfortable that these are pretty close to final numbers that we'll be showing tonight. So and this is focused primarily on the general fund, and when it comes to our general fund finances, there are a few factors that really significantly affected our fiscal year 22-23 financial performance. The first being really inflation, as it's the popular term and anybody talks about the economy over the past few years, but inflationary cost increases, whether it be housing or everyday goods, really have impacted our tax revenues because everything has gotten more expensive. So that tax base has increased over these past couple of years, and we saw that significant jump in the last couple of years. New growth and development continues to be the story in Rancho Cordova. It has not slowed down. We did predict it would start to slow down, but as you'll see in a few slides, it did not, and continues to have a significant impact both on the revenue side as well as the expenditure side. And then finally, on the expense side, the city did make a significant capital investment in the amount of $15 million for property acquisition from Elliott Homes. That did get paid out of the general fund, so you will see that reflected in some of these numbers. So a lot of numbers on this slide, I know. I just want to draw your attention to a few takeaways, and then we'll move into a couple of graphs that will make some of this information a little easier to digest. So first of all, overall general fund revenues, we ended fiscal year 22-23 at just under $76 million, at $75.9 million. You'll see that number on the far right. And that number is a 31% increase over the last 5 years from that $58 million general fund revenue number that we had just before, back in 18-19, just shortly before we headed into the pandemic. In particular, if you look at fiscal year 22-23 with the prior, in comparison to the prior fiscal year, an astronomical 11% double-digit increase in general fund revenues. We have not seen a double-digit general fund revenue growth I don't think at any point in the city's history, but definitely not in the last 5 years. So overall, just a really unexpected jump in revenues that I'll talk a bit about in a few slides. I think a couple things before I leave this slide. For the most part, we'll talk about taxes and permits in a minute here. But one of the things, like if you look at the intergovernmental line, you'll see that we kind of saw a spike in the recent years in the $2.5 to $3 million range, and then this past year down to $932,000. A lot of that was one-time COVID relief monies, reimbursement for the Great Plates program. So again, those are numbers that impacted our general fund revenues that we do not anticipate that they will come back. So one-time in nature. So something to keep in mind as we look forward and start planning for future years. So as we talk about taxes, this is 75% of the city's general fund revenues comes from taxes. And over the last 5 years, we've seen a 27% increase across the board in our tax base. Just to kind of look at the big ones, other taxes is that top blue shaded line. Those have stayed fairly consistent year to year. The major one that's in there is property transfer tax, which, as home sales went up recently, we saw that number go up quite a bit. So that has been kind of driving that. The dark blue underneath that, utility user tax. Another one that has been fairly stable. However, again, if you look between 21-22 and 22-23 actuals, we saw a pretty significant jump in UUT that we just did not expect because overall, utility consumption is starting to, as people start to conserve more. However, rate increases have kind of eaten up, taken off some of what we thought we would see in reductions. So overall, a pretty significant clip up on that. The green is our transient occupancy tax. This is the hotel motel tax. And you'll see that one, we saw a drop off during COVID. And then as we were at 4.3, kind of right before the pandemic, we dropped down to a low of 2.9, 2.7 actually. And then we're kind of climbing back out of that and are just ended the year at 4.1 million. The last two, the two largest sections are sales tax and property tax. Interestingly enough, both of those increased to 32% over the last 5 years. In particular, we saw a huge jump in our sales tax a couple years ago, right at the start of the pandemic, where we saw a 21% increase in sales tax year over year. But kind of consistently seen very significant increases in our tax base in recent years. Something that is excellent for our general fund budget. However, it's not something that I foresee continuing for much longer. I think this, we've ridden this quite a long ways, much longer than I think any of us have expected. So, but end of the year in a great position. The other revenue source I just wanted to highlight is building permits, because I think this is kind of an interesting story about new growth and development and kind of what's been transpiring. Back in 18-19, that first one, we were at 2.3 million, and I remember thinking, wow, 2.3 million, we can't possibly get higher than 2.3 million. And if you look at what's happened over the last 5 years, I mean, we have doubled. But interestingly enough, the yellow is the residential building permits and the purple are the commercial. And so where residential was really leading the charge for the first few years, we've seen it kind of flip to where now commercial is bringing in the bulk of permit revenue. I think the other takeaway from this slide is probably reaching a near peak at this point is what I would anticipate. And so I do anticipate we'll start to see this taper off in the coming years.
You'd see the purple tapering off and the yellow growing.
Potentially, I mean, I think time will tell, but I just think the overall total number we'll start to see kind of a taper off is my guess. Flipping to the expense side of the equation. So overall, general fund expenditures, if you don't take into account the capital outlay for the property acquisition, just look at operating expenditures, they stayed within the adopted budget. So if you kind of look across the line items and you compare to the budget overall, the city managed within its budget. We did know we had this property acquisition coming up, and that did flip us into a deficit as far as a reduction in fund balance at the end of the year.
That's the $15 million?
Yes, that $15 million that you'll see under capital outlay is the acquisition of the property.
What, you guys didn't plan for that?
So on the next slide, before you flip to that horror, we should add a little asterisk. next to that bracketed number that says $15 million expenditure for property acquisition or something.
Yep, we can do that.
That slide, I have to avert my eyes.
So this is our,
No, I expected that. It's just, doesn't mean you want it. I want to see it, that is.
so we did end of the year, we knew we were gonna have a reduction in fund balance at the end of the year due to the property acquisition. However, because our general fund revenues did so well, we were able to absorb a fairly significant chunk of that property acquisition with a smaller reduction in fund balance than we'd originally anticipated. So where does that leave our general fund reserves? We continue to maintain our general fund economic uncertainty reserve at 20% of budget, which is about $13.4 million. And then we still have the reserve, the amount of fund balance has been set aside for the Mills Crossing project, about $11.5 million currently sitting in the general fund. And so one of the proposed budget amendments before you this evening is to actually use this year as basically an opportunity for us to move that money out of the general fund and into our capital facilities fund. Because first of all, as the expenditures for Mills Crossing incur, they need to come out of the capital facilities fund. And at some point, we have to be able to move that money out. And given that we already have a reduction in fund balance this year makes sense for us to try to get that money out and situated in the capital fund going forward. So that is the proposed budget amendment before you this evening. That will bring the general fund amended expense budget to $94 million. It's a pretty astonishing number. However, one time in nature, as we make some of both the property acquisition and this transfer out for the Mills Crossing project. And then finally, I just want to touch on the Community Enhancement and Investment Fund. So similar story, you know, Measure H and Measure R revenues have been doing well, similar to, as I mentioned, on sales tax with the general fund. We saw some pretty significant upticks. Ended this year, Measure H at $12.4 million, with the budget of $11.4 million. We knew we were going to surpass the budget, and we did account for that when we talked about the legacy cash flow during the budget process. And then Measure R was at $12 million. The main reason for the difference, while they'll never be exactly the same, the main reason was there was a pass-through grant for soil-borne farms. So, and with that, that's the end of my presentation. Happy to answer any questions.
Donald. Garrett. Siri.
No questions.
David?
It's really interesting to see the boost sort of continue in sales tax for us. Obviously, it's people, I think, as you mentioned, shopping from home. That's a semi-permanent shift is going on in our economy that way, which benefits us because we do not have all the retail that, you know, other jurisdictions have sort of bet their financial future on. That's never been our strength, having a bunch of retail. And now we're sort of getting the benefit of people's expenditures where they should be, where they live, based on that sort of shopping, instead of having it go to neighboring jurisdictions because we don't have the stores that they have.
Everything, I mean, I don't do an awful lot of ordering, but everything I order, it's always got a line item for tax, local tax. So, do we have any public comment?
Not for this item, no. And I
Okay,
do
then
not
we're
see-
ready for a motion.
So moved. It says
Oh,
motion.
There's a resolution for the proposed budget amendment.
Yeah,
Second.
okay. Call the roll?
Councilmember Gatewood.
Yep.
Councilmember Terry.
Aye.
Councilmember Pulapati.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Sander. Mayor Budge.
Yes, thank you very much. Okay. Now for a little fun.
The rest of this hasn't been fun. We're doing something wrong.
A little more fun.
So moved.
Yes, okay, actually, I know you all know that we need David to be able to go to Atlanta as the mayor-elect for 2024. And I would also, so I will make that motion, and I will also include asking Siri to be our vice mayor-elect for for 2024.
Second?
Oh, it's our first minority female vice mayor. That's awesome. All right.
So, Stacy, would you call the roll, please?
Yes, we'll start with Mayor Budge since you made the motion.
Yes.
Let's see, Councilmember Gatewood.
Yeah.
Councilmember Pulapati. Vice Mayor Sander.
Aye.
And Councilmember Terry.
Aye.
Great.
And just to be clear, the swearing in will be December 18th. And so this will continue as is until the 18th when the swearing in, but then we have the mayor.
Our traditional,
and, yeah,
our
vice mayor
traditional
left.
transitional period. So we also need to, a motion to cancel the meeting of the 20th of November.
Mayor
because-
Budge, we had a couple of public comments for that item.
Oh, I'm sorry. Which one? For the, really?
Yes.
Okay, well, does anybody disagree?
I'm gonna
I
go.
wonder who those comments could be from.
So we have James Garcia and Helen Whalen Bashaw.
For item 19.4,
Probably for the.
I presume.
It was actually for 19.4. James Garcia, resident Stone Creek. I actually was hoping to suggest that Garrett would be the vice mayor. So it was just something that I kind of wanted to do.
We appreciate that, but we do rotate.
I know there's a rotation, but he wasn't vice mayor this last time around, or mayor this last time around, so he would have been eligible for that. So that was just something that I just kind of thought. So that was all.
Thanks, James.
Thank you, guys.
Helen?
Okay, Helen Whalen Bashaw from the Tiffany area. I agree with James. And my agreement to Garrett is pretty easy, is we don't know what's going to happen for 2024. Whoever goes into 2024 as the vice is not guaranteed they're going to make it through the election. So therefore, there would be a void. By putting Garrett in as the 2024 vice, he is ensured to be around after the election, where we don't know whether Siri or Donald are going to be elected. Considering I personally oppose the selections as you did, to leave an area uncovered and to allow two people to run against an incumbent that's in the position for the 2 years. So, it's going to be pretty embarrassing if the person that's the vice isn't around, because then you're going to have to do a selection. Thank you.
Thank you, Helen. Okay, now we really do need,
Mayor Budge, we have a hand raised in Zoom.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Brenda, you'll have up
Brenda.
to 3 minutes to speak.
Good evening. I agree that I think that a proposal to have Garrett be the vice mayor is in alignment with what he stood for the people. He stood in a position where he has listened and he has had to have the courage to stand up and support his constituents. And I think that what Helen just presented makes a lot of sense in a linear fashion. So it's not just an emotional response, it's a factual alignment with what the city could do to benefit the citizens of the Rancho Cordova. Thank you very much.
We're losing you, Brenda. Okay.
We have an additional public comment. That's Jennifer Garcia. Jennifer, you'll have up to 3 minutes to speak.
Welcome, Jennifer.
Hi, thank you. Had to come home to take care of the kids, but I'm gonna just say I agree with my husband and Brenda and Helen and what they said. I do think that Garrett should be the next vice mayor, and because again, of what, how you guys did the election process. We don't know what the next election is going to turn out, whether Councilmember Donald Terry will be in there, or Siri will be in reelected, or if there'll maybe be somebody else sitting in those seats for Anatolia. We never know. So that is why we would like to see Garrett as the next vice mayor, and what he's also done for the city. So thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Okay, now, 19.5, we really do need a motion to cancel the November 20th meeting, since most of us, if not all of us, will
Can
be
some
in
of us speak to
Atlanta.
the comments that we were hearing on 19.4? Because I will just say, as somebody who has served on boards in my previous elected position, where we politicized chair and vice chair repeatedly, would just commend my colleagues and urge the public to understand too, the fact that we don't play politics with who's mayor and vice mayor in this city. And it's one of the things that we talked about when we were talking about redistricting, that the kinds of things, with all due respect to the members of the public that just spoke, the kinds of things that you're suggesting are the kinds of things that make a lot of other political bodies in this region toxic. And there's a level of collegiality among the five of us because we don't do exactly what you're trying to suggest that we do.
Thank you. It's Siri's turn. Okay. We need a motion to cancel the November 20th meeting.
So move, second.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
First, I'd like to acknowledge that there is a public comment for this item. And that is Brenda. Brenda, you'll have up to 3 minutes to speak.
Brenda.
I just want to say that I really appreciate what Donald Terry just said. So I really align with that and appreciate what you had to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your comment. Anything else?
No. So I heard a motion from Sander to cancel the November 20th meeting, and I heard a second from Councilmember Terry. Is that correct? Okay. So roll call vote. We have Vice Mayor Sander. I'll start with you.
Aye.
Councilmember Terry.
Aye.
Councilmember Gatewood.
Yes.
Councilmember Pulapati.
Yes.
Mayor Budge.
Yes.
And
Thank
at some
you very
point, somebody
much.
can explain to me why the hell I had to vote for that. We can't just cancel a meeting. Okay. Somebody tell me later.
Okay. Before we go to future agenda items, the city attorney needs a minute.
No further comments.
No? Okay, great. All right. Future agenda items. Garrett, I think you had one?
Yeah, one thing, thank you. I appreciate you both, and thank you, Brenda. It's an honor, and still gonna wait my turn, but thank you, thank you, thank you. But number two, really quick, we need to talk about the planning commission. We're gonna talk about making those rules certain type of criteria, maybe helping out, so we can put the best foot forward when it comes to our planning commission. And I would like to bring that back and talk about that.
Okay,
And I had to bring it back at this meeting because we couldn't do it the last one.
sure.
Yeah, I will agree with that. I will say that we probably, as part of that conversation, we need to post the position that we have open pretty soon, because we now have an open position. So as part of that,
It's actually,
is it posted already?
Yeah.
It is posted.
So
Okay,
it
I
is
haven't seen
posted, so we'll bring back,
So we'll be talking candidates and that at the same time. Okay, I hadn't seen it posted.
And we might be talking.
I was
about
on
candidates.
vacation for part of this month.
you also might, I mean, if the council's interested, or if there's a majority of you, we also might just bring back the conversation, including some of the, not necessarily selecting a candidate, but you may actually repost and do it based on this direction on the criteria.
Date on the posting?
It's today. It closed today.
And so I do think that we should be clear that absent other direction, we would bring back this policy change, not the candidates who have applied under the existing policy.
correct.
Yeah.
You got 3 votes. Okay, then, for the good of the order, meeting is adjourned.